Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We all expected it, so let's not look surprised and act like something else was supposed to happen. The Knicks got smacked by the Toronto Raptors after having an early lead. And let's take a look at this game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. The game started off, it was in Toronto, obviously. And, you know, the Knicks don't play well in Toronto. They didn't play well tonight in Toronto. And you're going to see right here, Pascal Siakam goes to the cup, but it's not good. But OG Anunoby, he said, I got this. I put it back for you, big fella. You ain't got to make everything. The Knicks, Marcus Morris kicks it out to Frank Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina knocks down the first three of the game for the Knicks, and then said, okay. Maybe the Knicks are going to try to do something, but it wasn't to be. Marc Gasol in the post kicks it out to Fred VanVleet, who knocks it down from three. And I warned you guys that we really got to watch out for this team shooting threes. As you see, Pascal Siakam knocks down another three, an early three for the Toronto Raptors, as the Raptors took a 10-3 lead with Fred VanVleet going to the basket. Fred VanVleet for the night had 15 points and 4 assists. You see Taj Gibson go in, get a dunk to make it 10-5 Toronto. The Knicks weren't going away early in this game. They fought back early in this game. Julius Randle, he knocks down a three to make it 10-8 Toronto. Julius Randle on the night, he had 19 points. Basically, he was no match for Pascal Siakam. But we knew that to be the case. It's not a surprise. Fred VanVleet races up the floor. He lays it in to take it to the Knicks. And Fred VanVleet is a problem, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. You can say what you want. That guy's a problem. RJ Barrett, his first game back in Canada, in his hometown of Toronto. Well, he's from outside of Toronto. RJ Barrett was excited to return home. He even had a special pair of sneakers designed for this specific game. They're pretty dope, too. I won't get them because they say Canada on them, but they're pretty dope. The Knicks take a 24-19 lead. As you see, Bobby Portis knocks down the three from the corner. Bobby Portis had 9 points on the night, shot 50% from the field. Toronto, they wasn't going away, knocks down the three to make it 32-29 as they begin to close the gap. The Knicks had an early lead, but they weren't able to hold the lead, as we've all seen the Knicks do from time to time, ladies and gentlemen. Toronto, now they're on a rampage. Pascal Siakam, he takes it to the cup. This guy is a wonder in the league. Pascal Siakam started off, just a role player. Now he's a star. Pascal Siakam, once again, bang. That guy had 31 points tonight. He shot 54.5% from the field. He shot 62.5% from three. He also had 8 rebounds. That guy's a tough character to deal with. The Knicks now down 39-34 as Toronto is on a roll. And that guy once more, Pascal Siakam, knocks down another three. And this is when it starts to get dangerous for the Knicks. They're already in the danger zone. This was the first game of the danger zone. Remember, we talked about that last night as Julius Randle goes to the cup and lays it in. Like I said, Julius Randle had 19 points, but just not enough. Julius Randle, another spin to the basket, lays it in. The Knicks weren't going away that easy. They were fighting. They were trying. 51-43. The Knicks up. RJ Barrett to the cup, throws it down. His first dunk in Toronto, in his hometown. First NBA dunk in his hometown, but Toronto was just too much for the Knicks. You see Fred VanVleet knocks down a three. Fred VanVleet, again, for the night, had 15 points, 4 assists. He was 2 for 5 from the three-point line, shot 40%. Toronto, as a team tonight, Toronto shot 51.2% from the field. You see here in the third quarter, Toronto with a 12-point lead. Bam! Knocks down another three from Pascal Siakam to give him a 15-point lead. And from here on out, Toronto basically dominated the game. I mean, this was basically it, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks had nothing for the Toronto Raptors up until this point of the game, or starting at this point in the game. You see RJ Barrett find Julius Randle for the lay-in. They make it 66-53, but it just wasn't to be. The Knicks were basically no match for the Toronto Raptors tonight. You see Fred VanVleet take it coast to coast and lay it in. They were no match for the Toronto Raptors tonight, ladies and gentlemen. OG Anunoby, that guy, he had 13 points. He shot 60% from three. Pascal Siakam, like I said, had 31. Marc Gasol had 3. Norman Powell had 7. Talking about the New York Knicks, as we see scramble for the ball, we're now in excess garbage time. I don't even know if there's a reason to watch the rest of this, as you see Marc Gasol knock it down from 3. Like I said, Marc Gasol had 3 points. That was his only points of the game. But the Knicks just were no match for the Toronto Raptors, the powerful Toronto Raptors. As you see right now, 78-57 in the third quarter. Excess garbage time. The Knicks, they were just beaten by a better team, a better coached team, a smarter team. And we'll run down the box scores a little bit later on, but just to let you know, 7 points for Marcus Morris, 19 for Julius Randle, 2 for Taj Gibson, 16 for R.J. Barrett, 5 for Frank Ntilikina. We had 2 players in double digits tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby Portis was the next closest player in double digits. The Knicks shot 29% from 3. They shot 37% from the field. It's not going to get it for you. The Knicks had 45 rebounds, but the Toronto Raptors had like 51 rebounds or something like that. It's not going to get it for you when you're playing the Toronto Raptors, ladies and gentlemen. This game became ugly. The Knicks went down by more than 30 points in this game as we got into the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, you seen Alonzo Trier, you seen Iggy, you seen those guys playing the fourth quarter. But the Knicks were just no match. There's not much more we can say about that, and we expected it. We've entered the danger zone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to come back to these highlights a little bit later and talk about these highlights. But for now, I want to look at some of the stats of the game, and we'll break it down that way. We'll talk about who did what, when, where, why, and how. And tonight, we're going to talk about the danger zone once again, because the first game of the danger zone was definitely not a success. We got a couple more games to go, right? Philadelphia is next up to bat on Friday. We're going to talk about that and what we expect from the Knicks in that game. Because if they get blown out again in that game, it's looking real bad for the Knicks. It's looking really, really bad for the Knicks. Let's break down some of this box score, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at the box score real quick. Like I said, I read off to you the box score. Let's talk about some of the numbers of the game. The Knicks, they were 37.5% from the field, 29.3% from 3. All right, they made 20 or 24 free throws. They shot 83.3% from the free throw line. We'll give them that. They had 45 rebounds, 19 assists, 18 turnovers tonight. 18 turnovers. The Knicks have been doing a good job keeping those turnovers down, but not tonight. They had 18 of those turnovers. You're not going to beat a Toronto Raptors team if you have 18 turnovers. But, of course, the Toronto Raptors, they're a pretty good defensive team, ladies and gentlemen. They're a good defensive team. So guess what? Good defensive teams, they're going to create turnovers. That's what they did with the Knicks tonight. They created turnovers. The Knicks turned the ball over 18 times. Right? And, it just wasn't pretty for the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. This wasn't pretty for the Knicks. Let's take a look at some more of the matchup information. The Toronto Raptors, they shot 48.9% from the field. Right? And like I said, 51.2% from 3. They were 13 for 17 from the free throw line, 76.5%. Right? The Raptors had 52 rebounds, 26 assists, 6 steals, 4 blocks, and 12 turnovers. Only 12 turnovers. The Raptors actually led this game by 34 at one point. The Knicks had a double-digit lead in the first half. They had a double-digit lead. They actually did. And I was a little bit excited because I thought, okay, maybe we're actually going to be able to do something with these guys. I didn't expect to win even when we had a double-digit lead, but I thought maybe we'll be able to be competitive throughout the game. Maybe we still lose by 10, still lose by 11. Just wasn't to be. Just wasn't to be for the Knicks tonight. And I don't see it happening for the Knicks the next few nights. Really, I don't. And I couldn't be I couldn't be more disappointed. Honestly, I couldn't be more disappointed, ladies and gentlemen, because I didn't expect the Knicks to be a star, one of the best teams in the league and all that kind of stuff. I simply expected them to be competitive, give me something to watch. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what, I didn't even want to continue watching the game. I was like, forget this, man. Why am I watching this junk? Why am I watching this garbage? Why? So I watched Princess and the Frog with my daughter while I had the game on my, little thing. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. You're right. I'm looking at Chick George. You're right. No, you're right. The Knicks are still unorganized. You know what I'm saying? They're still unorganized. They don't have a system in place. There's just a lot of things. And, we can make any excuse we want. We can say that they're still trying to figure out lineups. We can say that they're still trying to figure out how to fit all the players together. We can say anything that we want. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You got to be able to come out and compete, fight, play, all those type of things, man. Doesn't matter. So, like I said, I started watching The Princess and the Frog with my daughter. Get it? And I just kind of slightly paid attention to the rest of the game because I was disgusted, and I'm not going to let this team ruin my Thanksgiving. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to let them ruin my Thanksgiving. The crazy thing is, I'm going to come right back to them on Friday. I'm going to come right back to them on Friday. Anyway, man, let's get to the guys that's in the video chat right now, and I'm anxious to hear from you guys and take some of you guys' telephone calls and talk to you a little bit, about just where do we go from here. That's really what I'm concerned with right now. I'm looking at these. I'm looking at these next 5 games. Where do we go? What do we do? I don't know. Where do we go? This is already bad. It really is. It's already bad. Tough, man. Knicks family, sorry. We gonna live, man. We got Thanksgiving tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna enjoy that and eat some good food and all that good stuff and have a, just that's what we're gonna do. So we're not gonna let this team bring us down like that. We're not gonna let this team bring us down like that. Let me see. Mark, I'm coming to you first. My man Mark is in the video chat. I'm coming to you first, Mark. Mark, what's good, man? Make sure you turn that down in the back or something like that, so I can hear you without a whole bunch of background feedback. All right. What's good, Mark? What's going on with you?
Yo, what's good, Sim? What's going on, bro? You hear me?
I can hear you, man. I can hear you.
All right.
I can also hear myself in the background because you don't have headphones or nothing in.
Yeah. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead, man. Talk to me.
All right. I want to say this. Because sometimes I get confused when I'm watching the Knicks because when you have Pacific players on the floor, Sim, I'm just saying this, like, especially when you got young players playing with these particular players, I don't think it's good because when the vets don't show like they care or the effort, the young players aren't going to follow. And that's what I've seen tonight. I've seen a lot of that where they gave up on a lot. The vets gave up on a lot of plays. The body language is just disgusting by the vets. I'm not saying no Pacific name. I'm just going to say the vets. And when you got young talent around you, that's trying to figure their way into the league and figure the way they should play, bro, it's a problem. And you know what I was thinking, bro? When you watch the Knicks, you get a couple of plays where they're running the pace and it looks good, and then just another possession, they just bog down the offense, and it is hard to watch because you see some of the stuff work when certain plays on the floor, and then you see it all goes to crap when other players insert back in the game. Because when Fitz put out some of the young guys,
I get that,
and the defense be flying, that's the way he wants to play. But when he puts in this other lineup with the vets in, it's a lot of players that's the spacing. Yo, I'm gonna say this right now, bro. Julius Randle sometimes mess up the spacing. He really does, bro. He really does. I was watching tonight. He just destroys the spacing for our young guys and stuff like that. Because I see Portis. When you watch Portis, he has an understanding of spacing. Morris, he has an understanding of space. When he has Julius and he has RJ on the floor, RJ needs the space, bro, to operate because he's not quick enough to get to his spots, man. And I'm continually watching Randle. You know what I'm watching? I'm watching Randle and RJ specifically, those two, when it comes to chemistry. And I swear, Sam, if you watch it, it is not good between those two. I see a lot of times RJ's putting his head down. Now I'm just watching for players on the floor. I'm just watching for their body language. The body language is not good when certain vets are on the floor.
But let me ask you this, Mark. Let me ask you this. Whose responsibility is it for the players that's on the floor?
You know why I don't. It's a 50-50 thing with me because if a young player is saying, I like my coach is fine, that don't mean it's always the coach. Sometimes it goes on the players because if Randle wants to be that player, right? He has to change his game. He has to change his game in a way to help others.
Okay, but let me ask you, but what is the best way to send a message to the players? What's the best way?
Sam, for me,
no. Answer my question. What is the best way to send a message to the players?
I bench him because I see when Knox don't play defense, he takes his ass right to the bench.
That's the thing. That's the best way to send a message to the players. Bench them. I don't care if they make $63 million or $3 million. The best way to send a message is to bench them. And let them know why.
Every time Knox makes a couple of possessions on defense and stuff like that, he sits him down.
Exactly. Because he's sending a message to Knox. So why can't he send the same message to Julius Randle or Marcus Morris?
Because, let me tell you something, because we put those two in a particular, by paying them that type of money, right? When you paying players, right, that type of a money, especially what has transpired before the summer, the Knicks have to, it's a lot of covering for their ass when you really think about it, bro. When I'm watching,
I get that. I understand.
They have to play these guys specific minutes because they screwed up.
But listen.
No one's talking about it.
But then let me ask you this. So maybe you need a coach that just doesn't give a damn. Because there are people out there that's like that will be like,
Sam. It's like with the Cowboys and Jason Garrett. It's like that because you got to understand. Scott Perry and Steve Mills has a say-so what goes on with the Knicks roster.
If they have a say-so over who gets playing time, well, last year they said they didn't. They said they let Fizdale handle those decisions,
anything
right?
that Knicks organization says to me when Steve Mills is in play.
Just listen to me. Last year they said they didn't. If they have a say-so over who's getting playing time, then I think that's wrong. You should leave that up to the coach.
See, but
that should be up to the coach. The coach should have the power should have the power to say, I don't care if you're making $63 million. If you're not playing defense, I'm putting you on the bench, and your playing time is going to be limited until you do what I need you to do. Because that is the best way to teach any player. Listen, my daughter's the best player. My daughter's the best player on our team, right? And I'm going to tell you what, if she forgets her practice jersey, she's doing 2 towel pushes. Matter of fact, she is the first one to do 2 towel pushes. When she does something wrong in practice, she's the first one to get pointed out because she is the best player on the team. And if I don't point out her mistakes, then everybody else is going to feel like they can get away with it. You see what I'm saying? Everybody else is going to feel like, okay, well, since she can get away with it, I can get away with it. It is up to the coach to hold those players accountable. Especially the best players. You got to hold your best players accountable first.
Tim.
Yep.
I don't want to... Something is telling me, right? There's no way Fizdale is not holding players accountable. He probably saying it, but there's a lot of politics going on with the Knicks organization.
Yeah,
I told you, what Steve Mills and Scott Perry did in that thing, you put this immense pressure on this coach, bro, that he should have never gotten because of the circumstance of what transpired before the summer. They have to make sure that contract that we gave to Julius Randle look a certain way, or else when it comes to him, when it comes to Julius Randle, it's all going to come down on them. And they're saving their behinds. That is the thing. That is what's going on right now.
If they don't allow politics. But see, this is where I disagree with that. Because if they don't allow Coach Fizdale to hold them accountable, the best way possible, which most of the time is putting them on the bench, then they're gonna look bad anyway. They're already looking bad. You know how bad this looks? Hold on, check this out. And it even looks worse for Fizdale because up until this point, Julius Randle was on a serious incline in his career. Every year getting better and better and better. And then now he comes to the Knicks with David Fizdale as the coach. And he looks terrible. Right? That's an indictment on Julius Randle, and it's also an indictment on Coach Fizdale. Because check this out. If you look at the Knicks offense, last year the Knicks won 17 games, one of the worst offenses in the league. This year the Knicks was supposed to have better players. All the way around. Everybody agreed, from the fans to the coaches. We're supposed to have better players all the way around.
Sam.
Right? At every position, we said we got better. Just about every fan said that. At every position, we got better. And our offense is still the worst in the league.
Sam, because when you look at this team, let's all be honest, man, because it's kind of becoming laughable. It's a lot of players, again, that does the same thing on the floor. A lot of ball hoggers. Because if you watch Marcus Morris, he still does a lot what he's doing for the Knicks on Boston. He still plays the same exact way, bro. It's no difference. And when you watch the game, I was watching tonight. And there was an open Frank Ntilikina in the corner on the left hand side, on the corner. Marcus Morris saw him and went the other way with the ball. It's about when you got guys like that are offensive players, they have to be able to make the younger players better. And those vets that we 100%. Have aren't capable of having that type of impact. Because number one, we put Julius Randle from a number 4 option to a number 1. That's that number 1. You should have never done that because he was never that type of player whatsoever. He never had that responsibility in college, and he never had that responsibility in the Lakers, period. And he never had that responsibility on the Pelicans. He basically came off the bench for the Pelicans because if he was that good, he would have started in the power forward role. So number 2, Marcus Morris. He has a lot of one-on-one. That's his game. It's one-on-one. It's one-on-one. And occasionally he'll catch and shoot. But his main game is to get the ball and dribble to get his shot. So it bogs down guys like RJ, even guys like Knox, Frank Ntilikina that could play without the ball, but need guys to pass the ball more swifter. We don't have guys that pass the ball more swifter, or we don't have guys that's willing to take the shot when it's given. You have to understand. We don't play with the pace because if you look tonight, the Knicks look tired because all Toronto did was just run up and down the court.
Oh.
It only took Toronto like 2 seconds to get up the court. The Knicks have guys that take their time coming back on defense, walking the ball up when you're supposed to be pushing the ball. Even with Dennis Smith, I'm thinking this guy's gonna push the ball. He walks the ball off the court. So you know what you do now? You give Toronto a better chance at playing their defense, and they're like top 5 in defense right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. But this is the thing, though, right? But this is where I feel like it has to come back on Fizdale because he can go in the media all he wants and say we got to pick up the pace. Right? But if you're not enforcing it, and you're not, I mean, obviously they don't have a lot of practice time, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the NBA. You don't get a lot of practice time. But you got to enforce it. You can't just say it. You got to enforce it. And if guys aren't doing it, take them out. You know, I understand about the whole politics of playing in the NBA, and you got agents, and you got all that type of stuff where, you know, you want to make the agents happy so that you can sign other players in the future and all of that. But I'm going to tell you right now, well, I can't even say the best teams because every team, you know, has some politics going on. Every team is going to have politics going on. But you got to have a coach that's not afraid of the politics. You got to have a coach that's not afraid to say, you know what? I do not like what this guy does, so I am not going to play him. Or I'm not going to play him the minutes. I am going to send a message. You got to send a message to your best players first. That's how the message resonates to everybody else. It's not just getting them to buy into your message. It's not just getting the best players to buy into what it is that you want to happen. They've got to do it as well. Because your best players, they can go around and they can say, yeah, coach wants us to do this. Coach wants us to do that. So we need to do this, that, and the other thing. They can say it all they want, but then when they get on the floor and they don't do it, you got to send a message to those players. You got to send a message to everybody by holding those players accountable first. Those are the first guys you hold accountable because then everyone else knows that they have to follow suit. If he's going to hold the so-called best player or the highest paid player accountable, then I better have my stuff together because he's going to hold me accountable too. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not holding those players accountable, then you're doing it wrong for your team. You know, and if we're worried about, if they're worried about making Julius Randle look good so that Scott Perry and Steve Mills look good, well, then they're doing a bad job. They're doing a terrible job. Right? Because one of the best ways to make sure that Julius Randle is on point and is on his game is to hold him accountable. And the best way to hold him accountable is by playing time. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have a guy, you got to have a coach who has the cojones to do it, who's not afraid to do it, who's not afraid to be the bad guy. I don't think that Coach Fizdale, and I know I was talking in the last stream, and I was like, I'm not ready to see him go yet. I'm not. I'm very close. I'm not going to lie. I want to give him a chance. I want to give him a chance because I just don't know, what do you do right now if you fire him? Like, where do you go? What do you do right now? You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person, even as when I was a manager of people, a boss of, supervisor, whatever, I gave people enough rope to hang themselves. And then I said, well, here you go. The proof is in the pudding. You didn't do this, that, and the other thing. This is what we got to do. And it's not easy to let somebody go. Trust me. I've been there. It's not easy. But anyway, Mark, I feel you. I know what you're saying. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the players because the players have to hold themselves accountable. The players have to, they've got to listen to the coach. They got to do what the coach is saying. They got to do all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And Mark, I see you going off and everything. I don't even know what you're saying. I see you going off and tripping and bugging and wilding and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Players got to do that stuff, a couple games ago, I was not going to put it on Fizz. I put it on the players because I felt the players didn't bring the energy that they're supposed to bring. It's on both parts. But in the end, Fizdale's the one who is accountable. Just is. The one who's accountable. You know what I'm saying? Guillermo, I'm getting ready to come to you. Before I do that, I just want to take a quick look and say this. Last year, when you talk about offensive, well, let me get to the offensive rating. Right? Last year, when you talk about offensive rating in 2018, 2019 for the New York Knicks, the Knicks' offensive rating last year was, and let me scroll all the way down to the bottom, the Knicks' offensive rating was 104. 104. Okay, listen to that. 104. And they were 30th in the league in offensive rating last year. Well, guess what? The Knicks came into this game with an offensive rating of 103.4. So that's worse than last year. And you're supposed to have better players. That come on, man. Come on. You're supposed to have better players. And your offense is worse than last year. Worse than last year. This year, the Knicks shoot 42% from the field this season. Right? That's what they're shooting from the field this season. Last season, the Knicks shot, let's get it on down here, the Knicks shot 43.3% last season. And obviously the season isn't over yet. Still a while to go. But the Knicks are shooting worse right now than they were last season. And the Knicks won 17 games last year. 17 games. We're supposed to have better players. I know Elfrid Payton is out. I get it. I understand that. Dennis Smith Jr. is supposed to be a better player. I don't know what's going on with him. I'm not going to blame that on Fizdale. I don't know what's happening with Dennis Smith Jr. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you, Mark. I don't know what to say. The only area where we have actually improved, is in three-point shooting. Right? Now, we didn't show it tonight, but we came into the league 8th in the league in three-point percentage. Then we only made 28%, 29%, whatever it was tonight. Yeah, Mo, what's going on, man?
Hey,
what are we doing here?
man?
What's up? What are we doing here? Where are we going?
I just want to say first and foremost, it's hogwash that you can't sit these players and teach them accountability. What I saw from the Raptors tonight, man, that's just beautiful basketball. You got guys moving off ball. You had Pascal Siakam taking guys one-on-one. And if you watch Pascal Siakam, watch what the other players were doing. Every time he drove to the basket, they're either getting ready to try to set a pick for him right at the end, or they'll crash on a basket. Like, it was like a weird symphony of like players like move at the same time, and that's good coaching. You also had guys like Van Vliet, where he was taking the ball, passing around. Once he drew a double team, once he got closer to hoop, taking guys one-on-one. Like that team, and you're talking about a team with a bunch of not Van Vliet and Pascal Siakam, even though you can argue that they came from those beginnings. You have so many players who are so-called no-name players contributing. And I'm not talking necessarily just at the end. A bunch of no-name players contributing because they have a system, they have a culture, because they have a head coach. I was preaching this, me and Isaiah, and you too, Sim. We were preaching this since 2 summers ago, whatever's ago. Instill and install your culture and your system before anything else, so guys know what to do. You have a bunch of, who's that guy, the skinny guy, with a weird name? I think he's from Oregon or something on the Raptors. I've never heard of this guy before, and he was like. That's what I'm saying, man. If we talking about, we can't sit these guys because you paid them so much money. That's so untrue, man. The Dallas Cowboys in the 90s, when they had Jimmy Johnson, if you came drunk or late to a meeting, Jimmy Johnson was sitting your butt. That's why he had all those superstars, the Michael Irvins, the Emmitt Smiths. He had all those guys in line because they knew that, we are the superstars, but there's a coach who's going to get us, and we're not going to get our playing time if we don't follow right. Once they switched to Barry Switzer, that's when guys started coming late, started drinking, or coming drunk to practice. They had to cancel practice. Guys were throwing up because they were drunk. And there was no accountability. And there's a good segment on YouTube where Troy Aikman's like, yo, we need a coach who can freaking coach. What are you doing? So I don't want to hear any more excuses of that. We can't coach guys because you give them contracts. It's actually even better now that you sit these guys, these big time so-called free agents who aren't producing, because it tells the younger kids, hey, it don't matter how much you get paid here. And I know we don't have a winning record. We haven't been winning for years, but this is a new regime. If you do not work hard on defense or you don't work hard with what we want you to do, you're sitting. I don't care about your contract. I would not destroy, but I will mess up whatever value you thought you're going to build up by going ISO or going ham on this team. Whatever stats you want to put up to make yourself look good and it doesn't help the team, we'll cut all that. I don't care how much you get paid. And that's how you learn. Like Morris is on a 1-year contract. Randall's not on a supermax. He's on a 3-year contract for, 63 whatever million. Yeah, it's a big contract, but it's not something where it's like, oh my gosh, you're not. Who cares? This team needs accountability. The team needs a system. And I was watching this Raptors game, Sim. It didn't even feel like the Knicks were doing. They were so inept. It was that the Raptors were just that much more better. Like, I'm watching this game, and I wanted to pick highlights where it's like, oh, my gosh, they're doing it again. It's like, these guys are hitting open threes. They're hitting threes in front of our faces. The ball's moving around. You have backdoor cuts. Gasol's passing the ball to guys on the backdoor cuts. So, to me, I take this as a game that we talked about yesterday, Sim. You said that, what is it that Fizzo can do to improve? Look at what the Raptors have. A bunch of – I'm not saying they suck, but generalizing, a bunch of so-called nobodies, and those guys are moving, and you saw a beautiful system. You saw harmony on offense. You saw effort on defense. And even in their drafting, you know what they would like to draft? Tall, lanky guys with speed that they can teach the nuances of the game later on. And you have these guys hitting threes. I'm pretty sure let's look at their college numbers. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I might be wrong. But I'm guessing a bunch of those guys are hitting threes on us. I'm pretty sure they weren't the biggest sharpshooters. If I'm wrong, I'll take it back. But I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, who the hell are these guys? And that when I look at that, that's exactly the way I wish the Knicks would play. A bunch of guys going all out on defense. There's harmony. There's no selfishness. Pascal Siakam scored a nice 30. Not to say it was dominant against us, I guess, but it didn't feel like he was hogging the ball, if that makes any sense. It felt effective. It felt like it was within the system. And that's what we need, man. And I just don't think Fizzo's the guy to do it, man. You know, long term, maybe get rid of him at the trade deadline, whatever. But I'm looking at there's no accountability. Then when you put the youngins in, it's like, oh, just run around with your head cut off. There's no real rhyme or reason how they're playing. RJ Barrett, he was 5 for 17 tonight, whatever he was tonight. It's like you have these guys, and what are they learning? How are they developing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm at a loss for words, but hey, if Fizzo's listening, he's not. But Fizzo, if you want to learn how to build a system, a culture, and Steve Mills too, and Perry and Dolan, look at what the Raptors are doing. They kept saying these are a bunch of guys who are undrafted right. Guys. So that means the whole league didn't value them. You're talking about undrafted guys, and they have a 33 game winning streak at home against the Atlantic Division. Like, I don't want to hear no one say that culture and system doesn't work, that we need certain players, because we look just as bad as we looked last year, and we so-called got better. So I don't want to hear that crap about we need certain players. No, we need a coach, we need a system, we need a culture, man.
Yeah, that kills me about the certain players, though, because everybody seemed to agree that we got better player-wise, talent-wise. Everyone agreed before the season started that we got better talent-wise. Nobody was saying, oh, we're going to be world beaters and all this kind of stuff. But everyone agreed that we got better talent-wise, right? And we had a better roster. And we all agreed that, okay, now that you have a better roster, this is the time when Fizdale would have to step up and coach these guys and show these guys, coach these guys. And we were hoping that maybe he could lead this team to overachieve a little bit. Right? Because that's how you start to build that culture. Everyone is working hard. Everyone plays hard every possession. The coach is holding everybody accountable, even if it means that, someone is going to look at him sideways. People, he's holding everybody accountable, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Right? That would have pushed the team to overachieve. And we thought maybe he could do that. But I'm going to be honest with you. He's pushing me to the point. I'm really trying very hard, Guillermo, to not just come out and be like, fire him right now. I'm really trying hard. I'm not going to lie, because I want to support him really, really bad. I want to support him, and I really want to see Fizdale do well. Right? And I know I tear him apart when I get on here, but I really do want to see him do well. But he's pushing me to that point where I'm like, I mean, we need somebody that can hold these guys accountable, not be afraid to hold them accountable, regardless of how much money they make. We need someone that's not afraid to say to the front office, I don't like that move. I don't like playing this guy this amount of minutes because he doesn't do what I want, so I'm gonna cut his minutes down. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's not afraid to lose their job. Right? Because when you're afraid to lose your job, you're gonna do whatever anybody else wants you to do. And you'll probably be unsuccessful if it's not the right thing for the team. As the coach, you have the pulse of the team. You know what you know what's happening in the locker room. You know if players respect you, right? And maybe Coach Fizdale doesn't know if they do or they don't respect him, though. Maybe that's one of the things too. Maybe he's not as in touch on the ground as we think that he is. I don't know.
Well, Sim, I mean, it doesn't. The thing about it is that there are two scales, right? You have the George Carl guys who are basically X's and O's, but they don't care about your well-being, right? Then you have the guys who are buddy, like Brian Shaw, who tried that crap with Denver, and he got thrown out quick because it's like, dude, we're not like they try to used to do like rah, like hands in type stuff, and it's like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? So obviously you need a certain balance, right? But again, Sim, if you do not have a system or style of play that the guys are convinced by that can work and get us wins. I'm not talking about Morris, scores 35 on, some given night, or Randall goes off for 30 in the first half. I'm talking about, the ball is moving around. We can look good even on a bad night where we're not necessarily shooting well, but we're getting shots. And then you have defense. If your guys don't buy into that, they'll only carry you in terms of they won't revolt against you if they like you as a person. Like it's like that thing where it's like, yeah, that's my man. I know he's messing up, but that's my man, so I can't really talk bad about him. Now, if Fizzo was like Jurger, like guys would, I had to look up stuff about Jurger last year with Buddy Hield. If it's like that, then it's like obviously they're gonna start to rebel against you because you are just an annoying character to them. They don't like you as a character. Fizzo's probably a really nice guy. I don't give a damn about really nice guys, man. I needed somebody who's gonna teach these guys and develop these guys. And look, we don't need guys that cause friction. We don't need a Phil Jackson coming in and trying to divide guys. But who cares about the post? Look, they don't believe in this guy. Every night, Sim, I'm watching this, and it's okay. The only improvement I see is that the ball gets around quicker, especially on the perimeter. It's quicker passes. Great, get out of that. But even when you do that, you need guys to be superlative in ISO situations against whoever they're going up against, unless they're, the ball got out to somebody, and it hardly happens. We don't cut to the basket. There's not many cuts. We just don't implement that. We are behind the times in terms of what we're doing as a system, and these guys they're just not buying into it. They may not say they hate Fizdale, but it shows. And they gave up. We were up by 12, 14, what was it?
11 points.
And
11
it felt
points.
like
Yeah,
it
11
felt
point lead.
like it felt like that lead. It felt like that lead's gonna dissipate real quick because every time we're coming down, they'll make their little threes. We're coming down. The sets are just not convinced. It's not getting guys open. It's just blah. We can't execute because it's like, all right, take your minutes at bat, try to beat him, and hopefully somebody Morris catch a rebound. No, that's not. I don't know, Sim. These guys just don't believe in what he's doing, man. I see it. I've seen teams do this before, where it's like, yeah, we're not gonna fire him, but what the hell? What is this, man?
Yeah.
And if you want guys to sell out on defense, sit the bums who are not defending. Now, I'll give it to Randall. Randall tonight, I'm not saying he was perfect, but at least when he was in front of his man, he was trying in terms of. So these past two games, he's tried in spurts. So I'll give him that. But again, he's not active on the boards enough. Too many times I see only Taj Gibson or Mitchell Robinson active on the boards. Randall, you should be. Forget about you trying to take the ball down. You're too big of a body to not throw yourself into the freaking fray to try to get those rebounds, especially when Mitchell Robinson is getting boxed out. He has three guys around him, and he's trying to tip and fight for a ball, man. It doesn't make any sense. But you saw the Raptors tonight. You saw two or three bodies around every shot that went up, unless it was a shot where it's kind of a long shot early in the shot clock, whatever. But you saw many times tonight, you saw guys hounding for the rebound. There's a culture of, at the very least, let our defense and our hustle be tip top. Don't matter what we shoot, we're gonna bring out. They're down by 12, And they slowly got back, not just because of the threes and them scoring and executing, but also because their defense held them in there. So I don't know,
Yeah,
man. I'm speechless, but I know
I
Fizdale
don't
ain't the
know,
coach,
man.
man.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I want to get to a couple of super chats. First, thank you for the super chat, Herbert Barahona. You said, why do I got to be a Knicks fan? This is bad. My eyes are on the draft. I'm not going to the draft just yet. You know, I want to continue to look at these guys and give our young guys the respect that they deserve, you know? And then Nick Gay, thank you for the super chat. You say, so what's the fix, Sim? Who do you replace Fizz with? You know, at this point in time, I don't know. And so I'm not sure that you replace him right now. The only problem with that is the more you go without holding players accountable and all that kind of stuff, the harder it's going to be to get them back. And this year, it's probably not going to happen. That's one of the reasons why I'm like, you know, what's going to be the point of doing it this year? Maybe you just wait until the summer. You bring in a new player. I mean, you bring in a new coach, and then you let that coach start from scratch. You know, with a training camp and all that kind of stuff. I know people are saying Mike Miller, let Mike Miller take over and all of that. The problem there, I think, is that I'm not saying that Mike Miller is, you know, obviously he doesn't have the decision-making power, but he's part of the staff that's already been dealing with, you know, he's already been seeing things that's happening, things that's going on. And maybe, you know, it's hard. It could be hard for someone to come in and then just change it around when you were part of it. If you get what I'm saying. You know, if you're part of it, you're going to come in and then, you know, so you've experienced and dealt with all the garbage from the past. And in the past, this season is only a couple months old. You dealt with all that stuff. So Mike Miller's dealt with whatever has gone on in the locker room, with the coaches, all that stuff. He's dealt with all that stuff. He's been part of it. And now you got to take over. Very hard, I think. Very hard to take over and be successful. If you're going to give it to him, you know, give it to him in the summer when you can start fresh. He can go out. He can hire his coaching staff, who he wants to be there. And he can start to put his stuff in place and start over fresh. I think that's probably the way you go. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing it mid-season, having somebody come in just to be a temporary coach, or, you know, putting Mike Miller up there, he's just a temporary coach. And people always say when you have an interim coach that, oh yeah, this he has an upper hand, or he's has a longer interview than some other coaches, right? But I don't think it works in that person's favor a lot of times, unless he's really able to change the culture in that time. I don't think it works in that person's favor, because there's just all this other stuff that is going to come along with it. You may have some coaches that, who knows what's going on with coaches in the locker room. I'm not saying that there's anything negative going on, but it could be. And it could be all good. Who knows? But someone like Fizdale, or say Fizdale gets fired, Mike Miller gets promoted. You may have other coaches who hold something against Mike Miller because he's promoted. Who knows what went on, right? Coaches who, you know, players who hold something against Mike Miller because he's been promoted. All of that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think that's, you know, it happens like that if you do it in season. And I think that person is kind of, you know, sitting there with an axe to his neck. I don't know if it's really fair, in my opinion. You know what I mean? My opinion. I don't know. I think you let Fizdale ride it out for the season. I'm not sure that's going to happen. I'm just saying, I think maybe you let Fizdale ride it out for the season, write his own check. You know what I'm saying? Write his own check. Let him hang himself if he's going to. And then you go on from there. And another thing that I'm afraid of, and maybe this regime won't do it, they seem to be a little smarter than that, but another thing I'm afraid of is that they go out and they hire a name just to appease the fans, which would be Mark Jackson. Right? They go out and they hire Mark Jackson just to say, just to appease the fans and make people happy. I think that would be a mistake. If you hire Mark Jackson, do it for the right reasons. I don't want them to make any knee-jerk hires. I don't know where the Knicks going, what we do from here. You know what I'm saying? Get to a phone call, man. Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Hey, what's up, Tim?
What's going on with you, brother?
Not much. Just watching this depressing.
Say that again?
Next season so far.
Say that again?
Just watching this depressing Knicks season so far.
Yeah, man. So where do we go from here? What do you think, man? Where are we going? Where are we going?
I think we're overreacting.
You think so?
I just think the problem with the Knicks. You got to think this is history. We've never had a coach. The only coach we've had go past 2 years is D'Antoni. I mean, last year was a tank. This was his first official year, and they gave him a bunch of players, but they didn't give him a leader. And that's what we're seeing on the court. We're not seeing a guy who's slowing the ball down, making the right pass, giving the guys the ball in the right position. Yeah, we play good offense here or there, and we have spurts where we look good, but there's just no consistency. I mean, and you can't put it all on Fizz. He's not the guy out there making shots. I mean, he's not the guy. He's not running. I mean, you don't see him chasing balls. You don't, just overall, just lackadaisical. None of these guys are on max contracts. None of these guys are going to, for all intents and purposes, all these guys we signed can be gone in 3 weeks. None of them are beholden to the Knicks. The only two guys I think that are solid on the Knicks right now are RJ, Hitch. Everybody else, 2 weeks. What was it? What's it? December 15th. So 2.5 weeks. Everybody else can be gone for all I care. But I just don't want to see us go and get another coach and then do it all over again. That's all we've done. That's all we ever do is go and we get a coach, comes in, tells us, like used car salesman, tells us everything's we're changing the culture. They don't change the culture. They keep the same old culture. They're always talking about the 90s Knicks. We're always talking about, how we're going to try to go back to winning ways when the Knicks is just.
So what do we do then?
Coach.
Okay, so what do we do then? So then, what do we do?
I don't know. I got a crazy idea, and I know I'm going to get killed in the chat, so I'm ready for it. But I say, whatever we have to do, whoever we have to get rid of, I say we go get Chris Paul. I say that's the type of player we need in a Knicks uniform. The same way we always go back and talk about how Jason Kidd came in and brought us to the playoffs, and he's got a crazy contract, but. So
then tell me, what is Chris Paul going to do for this team?
I don't see anywhere where we can, we're the type of team with the contracts we have, we could fit in that crazy salary he's got. But I can guarantee you put Chris Paul or, a complimentary type bulldog, he's gonna go in there, he's gonna get in people's faces, he's gonna yell, he's gonna be in the locker room yelling, chasing guys around. If you're not in the right position, you're not getting the ball, and he's the type of guy who can go and knock down the shot if it all falls apart. I mean, we can't go. Like, Randall is not a leader. He's a second, maybe third best player on the team. He was last year, and that's with his big numbers. He had Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis. Of course he put up big numbers because he wasn't the guy who was getting all the focus. But he's not. Whatever he's saying isn't getting to the other players. And maybe he's a good influence for the young guys, but there's got to be an overall change. And
let me ask you this. If you bring in Chris Paul, do you make the playoffs next season?
It depends on where we are. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to say if we bring in Chris Paul, we don't make the playoffs this season. I mean, Even Fizdale said it himself when he was with that Miami team that went 11-33 and then went 33-11. I mean, that's the type of player I think if the players buy in, they listen, yeah, because he's the type of guy who's going to go in there, and when Morris starts holding the ball, hey, Chris Paul's not going to give Morris the ball the next time. And, and Fizdale's got to buy in. He's got to sit guys down like everybody's been saying. But, I mean, that's the type of player we need. We need somebody who's a boss. We need a guy who's going to go in there, and when, the stuff hits the fan, like, you're not going to see these. We got a 17-point lead. Chris Paul's going to start walking that ball up the court. He's going to walk it up.
Look, listen. I understand, and I do agree that Chris Paul's his personality and his leadership ability is exactly what we need. Do I believe that he gets us to the playoffs? No, I don't. I do not believe he gets us to the playoffs. Definitely not this year. But I'm not ready to pay this man $44 million. I'm not paying anybody $44 million in a season until I know this guy is getting us to a championship. I'm sorry. It's not happening. That's too much. And he's not getting us to a championship. He's not getting us to a championship. I'm saving $44 million for a guy that is getting us to a championship. I love Chris Paul, and I really do think that Chris Paul would help this team. So unless the Denver Nuggets buy him out and he becomes an unrestricted free agent that's willing to take the veterans minimum to play, I'm not touching him. The salary is too much. I can't do it. It's too much for a player that's not going to get you to the championship, bro.
Yeah, that's the only caveat to this. Like, every time I think about it, I just want to see a leader in there. I want to see a guy who's going to go in there and yell and scream.
I hear you, bro. I hear you, man.
Locker room, but it's too much. I can't watch any. Last two games, I literally cut it off halfway through because it's like I know you're not coming back.
Okay.
I know it.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Hey, my man. Let me get to some other phone calls. All right. I appreciate you.
Oh, no.
Definitely respect your opinion. All right. But listen, Chris Paul, yes, I do agree that Chris Paul has the type of guy, the type of attitude and leadership abilities we need, but I'm not giving him $44 million. Now I'm not paying $44 million for a player that's not getting us any further than the first round. You know what I'm saying? Call you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's up, Sim? It's me, Ron.
What's going on, Ron? How you feeling, man?
Hey, brother. I didn't catch the game tonight, but I already know, same old, right? I mean, I missed the game, but I've been listening to the show. I kind of tuned in a couple of minutes ago. So, yeah, man, I've been hearing what you guys have been talking about, and everybody's making some valid points. The thing that comes to mind, Sam, and I know we talked about this before, is that you remember a couple of years ago when Phil Jackson was in charge, everybody was upset that we ended up with Derek Fisher and we all wanted Steve Kerr. You remember that?
Yeah. Yep. Remember that.
And remember that? Everybody was mad that we didn't get Steve Kerr. We ended up with Derek, and then Steve Kerr goes and win a couple of championships. Well, guess what? The same guy that everybody was begging to have as a coach, if I'm correct, we have more wins than him right now. But of course, you don't have his horses. I mean, I know. So sometimes it's coaching and sometimes it's players. And I look at it like he won a couple of championships, but in that time when we were trying to bring him to the Knicks, I don't remember us having a Kevin Durant on the team or Stephen Curry. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you do need talent, no matter how you cut it and slice it. And I know there's more ways to skin a cat, because Cleveland won a championship their way, Golden State, and I've been hearing some of your callers, and I think it's a combination of culture, the identity. What is our identity? Who are we as the Knicks? I mean, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? And I hear you saying, and I've heard you in a couple of shows say, I don't know, and you're a longtime Knicks fan, you're a coach. So it's like we're clueless. Like what is the plan? For a minute there, I thought, okay, Steve Mills and Scott Perry, okay, they had something in mind. Okay, we have a plan. So I'm like, what happens if that plan doesn't work? Do you tear it up and go to plan B? or is there a plan B? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. You know, you got to be able to change it up. You know what I'm saying? Switch gears. And I'm just as clueless as some of the Knicks fans out there, because you know I was one of those that wanted Steve Kerr. But I'm looking at him right now. So does it mean that Steve Kerr all of a sudden stop learning how to coach, or that he just don't have the horses? You know.
Well, and I agree with you. You got to you definitely got to have talent. Any coach is going to look better with talent, right?
Right.
My problem is we were supposed to have more talent this year than we had last year. We do have more talent this year than we have last year.
Right.
But statistically, we are worse than last season at this point.
I know. That's crazy.
And so to me, is the only thing that I can point to is the coaching.
Right.
That's the only thing I can point to. Because even if we weren't good, you would think at least statistically, offensively, you know, you got Julius Randle, guy that was averaging 21 points last season. You know, RJ Barrett is on the team now. We got better shooters, right? We're shooting better from the 3-point line. Up until this game, we were 8th in the league.
Right.
Last year, our offensive rating was 104. Coming into this game, our offensive rating was 103.4, right? And it dropped tonight.
Right.
It dropped tonight. So we were tanking. We were trying to lose last season, and our offense was better last season than this year.
We still didn't get that. We still didn't get the
and we still didn't. Right. And we still didn't.
That was crazy.
You know, so I don't know what to make of it. It may be by the end of the season, you know, our offense ends up being better. Hopefully, you know, it ends up being better than last season's. But it just gets me that it's like, damn, you know, the one thing that they say.
Let me ask you this question, Sam, not to cut you off. Let me ask you this question, Sam. Before we traded KP, and I know there's something among the Knicks fans there's mixed feelings about should we have traded him or not. I mean, if the reports are correct, he wants it out. I mean, unless I heard wrong, I thought that's what was being reported, that he didn't want to be in New York. So I don't know what you do with that. The guy doesn't want to be here, no matter how good he is. You gotta get something for him. You can't just let him walk out the door. But right now, in the building in MSG, is there a franchise? Do you see now or in a couple of years? Is that franchise player? Is he in the building?
Jeez. I mean, I'm hoping RJ Barrett.
I know we can't predict the future, but I mean, if you have to put your money in it, is that dude in the building right now?
I think RJ Barrett is.
You think he could be a franchise player?
I think he could be a franchise player. I think he has what it takes mentally, physically.
Right.
You know, I mean, obviously he has the physical ability. I think he has the physical ability. I think mentally he has it. If he can improve his jump shot, I mean, he's already he doesn't have a jump shot. He's averaging 15 a game.
Right.
And he's shooting a decent from the field, decent percentage from the field. He's not on a good team, you know, so it's hard to judge. I think maybe he can be the guy. I think he can maybe be that guy.
Okay. But
it's hard to say,
but,
though.
But, when you say that maybe, are you saying that maybe because coach is Fizz is the coach, or are you saying maybe because sometimes it's like you can have a franchise player, but if you have a bad coach, we can waste some of those good years.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, his prime, in his prime, which I would hate to see that happen to RJ.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. The thing is we're gonna have to be patient with RJ Barrett too, and I know people hate to hear it because we say it so much with so many of our young players. But I want to say this. Look at Pascal Siakam, and everyone, you know, people are going to point to Pascal Siakam, you know, and that Toronto was patient with Pascal Siakam, right? But there's another thing with Pascal. He came into the league at 22 years old. He's now 25 years old, and he's having the best season of his career at the age of 25. Right, so you figure he took the route that some of the old school players took to become stars in the NBA. Right, he came into the league at 22. Back in the days, those guys came into the league 21, 22 years old. Right, He came into the league at 22, averaged 4 points. The next year, he averaged 7 points. Went up the next year to 16.9. Now he's averaging 25.7 points per game for a very good team. You know what I'm saying? So someone like R.J. Barrett came into the league at 19 years old.
Right.
You know, you look at Andrew Wiggins. Everybody was writing Andrew Wiggins off when he first came into the league. Right? Now Andrew Wiggins is 24, 25 years old, and he's finally starting to come into his own.
Right.
You know, so we got to be able to have that patience to give these guys a chance to come into their own too. You know,
right.
And it's not easy. It's not easy for us, obviously. You know, as we can see, it's not easy for us. You know, so
you
got to give RJ Barrett that time.
It's kind of like beating a dead horse now because I remember watching a couple of weeks ago when the Knicks beat who did they beat? When they beat Dallas at home. When the Mavericks came into town, KP, and they were booing KP, and here it is when they had, I think that was a second win of the year or third win of the year, and the way the people were coming out the building, because I'm watching it here from Orlando and I'm watching the YouTube videos, you would think they want to play a damn playoff game. You know what I'm saying? That's how desperate Knicks fans are that they win. So this is for a win that he really could be like the second win of the year, and but the thing is that sometimes I hear fans say, Dolan needs to sell the team. Well, you know what? And that'll be a great that's a fantasy, but yeah, I mean, will that happen? Maybe, maybe not. And then and of course, the Garden is not like any other arena where when you're gonna see the Garden, people just say, okay, we're not going to the Garden. It's not gonna happen. The Garden's not that type of arena. It's always gonna sell out.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So you can't get the owners to sell a team. You can't get people to protest and say, we're not going to buy those. We're going to cancel our season tickets. It's not going to happen because you're still going to have celebrities. It's just a place to be. So what do? You get? And of course, if you want continuity, you can't be firing coaches after firing coaches after firing coaches. So like you say, this guy here from Toronto, he got better, but he still got better under two different coaches. So. Sometimes it's on the player. You know what I'm saying? The player has to want to get better every year. Every summer, works adds something to his game. You can't put that. I think you can't put that entirely on the coach. You have to be also the player too. But but I'm frustrated just like everybody else. It's like in a way I want to support Fizz, but I'm like, is he the guy that's gonna is he the guy just to get us into the playoffs, and then by then we have to get somebody else, or because all you keep hearing is like patience, we're developing our players. I'm asking you, from what you're seeing on the floor, do you think these guys are really being developed behind the scenes? From what you see,
when I look at the players from last season, right? When I look at the players from last season that are here now, I think Mitchell Robinson. I like what I'm seeing with Mitchell Robinson as far as how they're using him with alley-oops and those type of things. I'm not saying he'll get stronger on the boards though, but that's going to be to his body development. But besides Mitchell Robinson, who, is clearly playing and, he's going to continue to learn. When you look at Dennis Smith Jr., he clearly has taken a huge step back from what everybody thought he would be, when he was drafted into the league. He's clearly taken a huge step back. Alonzo Trier's not even playing. Right? Kevin Knox, in the past 3 weeks, defensively, he can't get it done. He's now in a slump shooting. Those guys aren't developing.
Do you think if they brought in like an established coach, maybe not a coach that won a championship, but a coach that actually has been to the playoffs, has won games in the postseason? I don't know if David Blatt fits the bill, but there's a couple of names out there I've been hearing that people are asking for. Of course, there was always been Van Gundy or his brother Jeff. So it's like. I don't know if it's even worth doing it at this time of the year, but I don't know sometimes because I was on the impression that that's the reason why we brought Phil there was so he can recruit players and develop players, and it seems like neither one is happening.
Yeah. I feel you, and I'm gonna let you go after this. I think part of it to me is when you want to play this freewheeling style of basketball,
right?
Where do you figure out how to develop these players if you want to? Because every player is not going to be suited to be an all-purpose player, right?
Right.
Every player is not going to be suited to do everything on the floor. And when you play this freewheeling style of basketball, you're counting on having players that can do everything on the floor because you need all players to be able to dribble. You need all players to be able to get the ball off the backboard and go. All players, when you're playing that style of positionless basketball, you need everyone to be able to do everything.
Right.
So when you do that, how do you start to develop a player to do certain things? Because you're having everybody do everything. So you want everyone to be a jack of all trades instead of specialize in certain things, right? So where do you tell players to develop? You know what I'm saying?
So
I feel like you got to have
between
a system.
Steve Mills and Fizdale and Scott Perry, who would you lay the major part of the blame of where we at right now? Would it start with Steve Mills, you say?
Would it start with Steve Mills?
He probably ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere. I mean, I think they all have to take a lot of responsibility. Who would I put it on the most? As far as what I'm seeing on the floor, I'm going to put it on David Fizdale because I feel like even if you don't have a good roster and your roster doesn't work and doesn't fit together, the one thing that you can get players to do, the one thing that you should be able to hold players accountable for is the energy and effort that they bring to the floor. Maybe you lose by 20, but you lose by 20 and you go out fighting and battling to the last second. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To me, that's just huge to me. That's just huge to me. You know, my girls, I coach girls, and we played in our first game couple days ago, a week and a half ago, whatever it was. And we got blown out the first game. Right? Now, the second half of that first game, it was our first game, right? You know, we came out real jittery in the first half. Second half, we played them even. And they only had so many players, so both teams were still playing their starters, right? But the thing was, we played throughout the entire game. We played hard. Our girls were scrambling on the floor, diving for loose balls, fighting for every rebound. They continued to play hard.
Right.
The next game we came out that we played, we lost that game, but, we had a lead at halftime. We had a bad third quarter. We couldn't get the game back. We lost by 7. The next game we came out and we won, right? And the key thing throughout every game was that we played hard. We played hard we played hard to the point one of the other girls on one of the other teams turned to the coach one time and said, "Coach, we're going to get hurt because because we play so hard." You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing that I feel like you can always bring. You can always have your players bring it. You can hold them accountable. If they're not playing hard, you pull them out. You know what I mean? And you're not going to make shots every night. They're going to make turnovers. All those type of things are going to happen. They're not always going to have the right spacing. You can coach those things, but just coming out and playing, I put that on Fizz, man. But hey, Ron, I appreciate the call,
brother,
man.
I've heard this more than one person say it, and I respect your opinion. Especially a coach, as a fan. I've never been a coach, but you know what? You're not the only person who's been saying that. I've been hearing that from other Knicks channels too. That it's like he's maybe not holding these guys accountable, and I don't always think about it because he's looking at them because they're a young team, and he feels gonna. But it's like, if you're gonna lose, but you can still lose, but lose the right way, not the wrong way. And I think like these days we're losing, but from what I'm hearing, right? You're saying we're losing, but not the wrong way. Now we're not gonna blow nobody out, but it's how you play,
That's it. Hey,
so,
I appreciate the call,
it's crazy,
man.
Son. All right, Tim, I'll let you go, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yo, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, my man.
All right, brother. Take care.
Peace. All right, Nate, I'm coming to you, man. I got you on deck, Nate. I know you've been waiting for a long time. Thank you for being patient. I'm coming to you right now. Just give me a second to get on over here. All right, Nate. I'm coming to Nate. Then I'm coming to Kareem. Then I'm coming to Isaiah. Then I'm coming to Kareem. All right, go ahead, Nate.
All right, man. There's a lot of ways to attack this, and I've been thinking in my head of how to do this. So this is what
I
I'm
hope you've been
say.
thinking in your head. I don't know where else you've been thinking, but go ahead.
You're a coach. I've coached before, and the thing is that you can't teach a player heart and effort. You can yell at them as much as you want and tell them what to do, But if they don't comprehend or they don't do it, that's their own doing. But
I
I
agree.
do agree with, huh?
No, I said I agree with you.
Yeah, but I do understand what you're saying, that if they're not doing what you're asking of them to do, then you need to pull them out. You need to sit them on the bench and show them that, listen, if you're not going to do what I tell you to do, then you're going to sit your ass on the bench, and I'm going to put in somebody that does know what needs to be done. And that's the problem with Fizdale. And we knew this from the get-go, that Fizdale is a rah-rah guy that kind of reminds me of my coach back in the day in high school. A nice guy, very nice guy, very personable guy. Talk to him on the streets, talk to him in the hallways passing, have a great conversation with you. You know, you could see him as your friend. He wasn't a coach, because when he tried to teach X's and O's to us, first off, he tried to compare us to the Spurs, which was ridiculous because we had no Duncan. Hell, we had no Parker or anybody of that caliber, you know, but he was just a big Spur fan. But he didn't really know X's and O's, and he didn't hold us accountable. And even when he tried to do it at times, it was laughable. Like, you know, us as players was like, this guy's a joke,
Right.
you know, and we didn't play hard. You know, I mean, I played hard because that's just how I've always been taught to do things in life, is always give it all you got. But some of the best players on the team didn't give two craps. You know, they didn't take it seriously. They knew that this guy wasn't anything big or anything like that. And so that's kind of what Fizdale's like. Is Fizdale is a guy who can be your friend, but is he one that's going to get on your ass and tell you that you're not doing something right and that he's going to threaten you by benching you? No, he's not. Because we've seen it with Hardaway. We've seen it with Randall. For some reason, he favors these older guys, which they're not really that old. Hardaway was 25. Randall just turned 25. I mean, these guys are still young, but for some reason, he sees them as the older vets, like a Taj Gibson or a Wayne Ellington, compared to the young guys, where he'll pull them out in 2 seconds, which it makes no sense at all. Because if you look at one of the greatest coaches in basketball, Greg Popovich, he treated Duncan the same way he would treat a guy who was undrafted. If he was yelling at that undrafted guy in the face, he would yell at Duncan. He didn't. I mean, yeah, he knew Duncan was a Hall of Famer. He knew he was a special player, but he didn't want to lose respect from the other players, and he tried to treat all his players the same, hold them all accountable in the same thing, whether you're the last player on the bench or you're the star of the player on the bench. And Fizdale doesn't do that. Fizdale picks favorites, and that's the problem. Is that there's a disconnect between the top players and the lower players, you know, and honestly, from my thought process with Fizdale, is you have to let him ride it, man. I mean, unless it gets really bad, which it probably will. I mean, they'll have to go to Mike Miller and let him kind of just go through the rest of the season. But they got to get a hard ass coach. They got to get a guy who is going to not be afraid to go against the brain trust of Mills and Perry. I feel like Fizdale is afraid to go against them. He'd rather be buddy with them than go against their wishes. You know, like if a Popovich was on our staff, or a Budenholzer, or somebody who's got some clout, or Steve Kerr, I promise you they would not always agree. And that's okay. That's a sign of a good, strong organization. They don't always have to agree. You think R.C. Buford goes to Popovich and tells him how to run things? Hell no. Popovich probably tells him more what he's going to do, and Buford goes like, "Okay, you've earned it. You've been here a long time. You've earned your stripes. You know, we don't have to worry about you." But with Fizdale, I don't think they trust Fizdale. I don't think they trust him to run his own thing, because maybe he lacks the knowledge of X's and O's. He lacks the knowledge of an identity, a setting of a culture. And so they feel like they have to baby him in some aspect, you know, compared to maybe like a coach that was more established, where they'll like, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows X's and O's. He knows what to do. He knows how to set the culture. He knows how to be responsible. I don't think they see that in Fizdale. And I think that's the biggest issue. If you're gonna go another route with a coach, you need to bring in a coach that is going to set the culture, hold the players accountable, and go against what they desire in the front office. And that's okay. Sometimes you have to shake that tree a little bit. And Fizdale has not done that. I think he's just tried to appease everybody. And I think you said earlier, he gives a damn too much.
Yeah,
And that's the problem.
That's the thing.
Is that,
that's the thing. You're not going to be able to please everybody. It just doesn't work that way, man. You're not going to be able to please
money
everybody.
to be a coach, and he needs to understand that it's his butt to figure it out. It's not getting help from anybody else. It's not taking knowledge from anybody else. It's figuring out yourself and creating your own way. And I just don't know if he can do that. I think he's so far deep right now that he's like pulling on straws right now, trying to figure what to do. And I think he knows that his time is coming to an end, but I'm just saying going forward with this next coach, you gotta get a guy that's gonna go against the wishes sometimes of the front office and be able to create his own identity and mold the team into what he wants them to do. Not what Mills and Perry do. It's whatever the coach wants to do. You rarely ever see the general manager and the president literally say what their identity and culture is going to be. It's usually the coach. The coach is the one that sets the standard.
But I do believe that it should be that the coach, the general manager, the president, whoever it is, making those decisions. They sit down. They talk to the coach about what the philosophy is. Everyone comes up with, this is our team philosophy. What kind of system, and then you go out and you find the players that are going to fit in, how you want to play. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a team effort. It's got to be a team effort.
And there's no doubt that those conversations don't happen. All I'm saying is that with Perry and Mills, I felt that they were more vocal about the culture of this team than Fizdale was. And that was concerning to me because I want the coach to tell me what this team's going to be about, because at the end of the day, he's the one that's hands-on with these players day in and day out. It's not Perry. It's not Mills. I want the coach to say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to run. This is what kind of team we're going to be, and then go do it. And he's not doing that. She's saying, well, whatever the GM and president say, that's what we're going to do. But you don't believe him because you don't see it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I feel you. All right, Nate, I'm going to come back to you, man.
Cool, man.
At the moment, Knicks fans, we are in the danger zone. And we just entered the danger zone playing the Toronto Raptors. What is the danger zone? If you were on with me last night, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't last night, whenever it was. If you were on with me, then I believe, it was last night. I talked about the danger zone. What's the danger zone? Well, the danger zone is the stretch of games that we're in right now. And we just entered it with the Toronto Raptors. So we lost to the Toronto Raptors 126-98. Now, we play Philadelphia. We got Thanksgiving tomorrow. Knicks don't play. We play Philadelphia. We play Boston, Milwaukee, Denver, and the Pacers. The danger zone right now. What do I mean by the danger zone? This is what I mean. Right now, we are 4-14, 10 games below 500. These next 5 games we got coming up: the 76ers, the Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Denver Nuggets, the Indiana Pacers. It's hard for me to see the Knicks winning one of these games. If there's going to be a win, maybe you get one over the 76ers, because you were up 17 with them last time, but the 76ers are going to, I believe they're going to come correct. So you lose these 5 games. Now you're 4-19. If you're 4-19, on Saturday, December 7th, when you play the Indiana Pacers, if you leave out of that game 4-19, I'm not sure where we go, what the next step is. What is the strategy from there? What's the strategy for the remainder of the season? What's the strategy for building this team from there? Go 4-19. Because you go 4-19, I know the Miami Heat had the one year where, they started off horribly and then they really came back. But for the most part, man, it's not happening, bro. Let's be real. Let's be honest. It's not happening. Because you go 4-19, man, the players are going to start giving up. They're not going to believe anymore. And it's going to be hard to start to get up for these games. And then you really start. And we've already been losing to teams like the Cavs and the Sacramento Kings and, teams that we shouldn't be losing to. Well, I mean, for the Knicks, I guess there is no team that you shouldn't lose to. So you already been losing to those teams, and now you go 4-19. You start to give up on the season already. You're a quarter of the way through the season. You start to give up on the team. You start to feel like this ain't going anywhere. Then you really start to have problems. And I'm telling you, man, there's no way that this team should be going 4-17 again. No way. We're in the danger zone right now, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, let me not just say fellas, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the danger zone. It's a dangerous time of the season. Dangerous time. And, man, I don't know. I don't know. That's all I can say right now. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Isaiah, I'm coming to you, man. What's cooking,
What's going
man?
on, Sim?
What's cooking?
Nah, man.
You ain't got nothing
listen,
cooking
man.
for real? I was serious with the question. What's cooking? You usually cooking something?
Oh no, I don't eat late. I don't eat late no more, man. I stopped doing
Oh,
that.
snap. He said, I don't eat late no more. Since when? Yesterday?
Here you go, man. Just know somebody motivated me not to eat late no more, so we good.
All right. So what's the latest you eat now?
I try to eat around 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Okay. All right. That's what's up.
8:30, 9 o'clock.
Congratulations.
And then
Wow.
I don't eat breakfast no more, so I do like intermittent fasting. So
You said you
basically,
don't
I
eat
skip
breakfast no more?
eat lunch, then I eat dinner.
You said you don't eat breakfast?
No, I don't eat breakfast no more.
Why?
No, I do intermittent fasting, so I won't eat for about 8 to 9 hours, depending on the day. Depending on the time, I won't eat 8 to 9 hours.
So do you have energy throughout the day? I mean, like you're supposed to eat breakfast.
So I drink water.
But if you don't eat breakfast, how do you get your
snack.
metabolism going? Because, getting your metabolism going, I don't know if you're trying to lose weight or anything like that. But if that's what you're doing, getting your metabolism to work is an essential part of losing weight.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I'll eat like a little snack, nothing too crazy. But, like, other than that, I really just eat like twice a day.
Okay. All right. I hope
And
it
I drink a
works.
lot of water now. I was drinking a lot of water anyway, but I'm drinking a lot of water. So it's
Okay.
like, I'll keep myself full.
Well, I hope it's successful, man. I'm looking forward to seeing the
Yeah,
results.
man. We'll
All
see,
right,
man.
man. So we're in the danger zone, man. What do we do? What are we going to do?
The danger zone.
We done talked all about Coach Fizdale. We talked about all of that stuff, so I don't want to go backwards.
Yeah,
all right?
no, of course.
So what do we do?
What we do now,
well, if we go 4-19, which there's a very good chance that we end up 4-19,
yep.
What do we do from there? What's the next steps?
So surprisingly, this is what I'm going to say, and I'm surprising myself, but I have to agree with what you said earlier. You don't fire David Fizdale right now. You fire him. You let him fire himself at the end of the season. Let David Fizdale do what he do, and then you fire him at the end of the season, because for this team to be as bad as it is, it's just a lot of stuff that's going on that shouldn't be going on. A lot of coaching, a lot of, we talked about that, but we ride the storm, Sim. I think after December 15th, you do what you got to do. You trade Marcus Morris, which I think he knows, the Knicks know, we all know he's going to get traded, preferably for a first-round pick for this upcoming draft to a contender. That's going to happen. They're probably going to trade Taj. I really hope they don't trade Taj. I'd rather keep Taj for the end of the year. They're probably going to trade him. Who else? Maybe it might be Portis. Then he might go to a contender, maybe like to the Portland Trailblazers or a team like that. But you keep the young players in, man. You just keep them, ride them. RJ Barrett's going to be, to me, opinion, is going to be a superstar. Frank Ntilikina is having a breakout season for his defense, and actual effort. He's
Okay.
one of the
For his
only
defense. All right. I
two,
was
three,
about to say a
only two or
breakout
three
season.
players that play defense. But you play the young guys, and you just play the young guys, let them, fill out the rest of the season, and then we go back to the drawing board. We'll get a first round pick for Marcus Morris. We're gonna have hopefully two first round picks. In this year's draft, we draft a point guard, preferably either Cole Anthony or LaMelo.
Okay, let me ask you this. Why would a team give us a first round pick for Marcus Morris? Really? Tell me.
I mean, truthfully, Sim, right now he is shooting threes at a very high clip. I mean, it's only a handful of games, but I mean, this guy is shooting threes at like a ridiculous clip. He plays defense. He gives them an extra fit. On a good contending team, Marcus Morris should get you a clean 15 efficient points. And a team's gonna want to do that. I mean, I guarantee you, a team like maybe Milwaukee or Philadelphia 76ers, those type of teams that need 3-point shooting, they're gonna do that. They're gonna take a play like Marcus Morris.
Okay, but let's take a look behind the numbers and all, behind the stats and all that other stuff, right? Marcus Morris makes $15 million this year. He makes no money. He's off the books next year. Okay, so in order for a team to give us a first round pick, we're gonna have to take some money off their books. Meaning they're not going to give up a first round pick for a guy that's going to be a free agent the next year. I don't think so, unless they get a guarantee that he's going to sign with them. And he's not going to guarantee that he's going to sign with them because he's going to be looking to make big money next summer. There's not many free agents in the market next summer. He's going to be looking to make big money. All right. Hold up. Let me finish. So the only way that I see that a team is going to give us a first-round pick for Marcus Morris is if we also agree to take back money that's going to extend beyond next summer, which I think would be a mistake. Right? I do not believe a team is going to say
first-round pick though. I mean, if it's going to extend just for next year, when West Name contract gets off when we can actually trade Randall, or because his 30 years option, so that's basically just he has another year with us. So I mean, getting a first round pick.
I don't think that a team.
I'm not mad at that.
But I don't think that a team is going to give us a contract that extends only to next summer.
But it's only, you got to remember.
Listen, hold up. Listen. You got to listen. Hold up.
That long?
Listen. Here's the reason why. Because the same reason why we wouldn't mind taking on a contract going past next summer is the same reason. The same reason we wouldn't mind taking a contract that ends not next summer, but the summer after, is because it frees up money for 2021, right? So if we take, we could say, well, there's not a big free agent market in 2020. So, yeah, we'll take someone's contract that ends in 2021. They don't have a problem with that. But the other team is having the same ideas. We don't mind having a contract that ends in 2021 because 2021 is when there's another big free agent class, right? Another team that wants the Knicks, if the Knicks want a free agent for Marcus Morris, another team is going to want the Knicks to take on a player that extends past 2021, in my opinion, right? To get a first-round pick for Marcus Morris. And that would be a mistake. Because Marcus Morris's contract expires at the end of this season, right? So another team would want to help clean their books if we're going to get a first-round pick. I don't think we're getting a first-round pick for Marcus Morris.
I'm not, trying to really disagree with you, but again, Marcus Morris' contract is $15 million.
Right.
What player getting paid $15 million is going to go past, a certain that long, you know what I mean? So, again, that's just what I think could happen. Hopefully it does happen. We get a team. There's always going to, Sim, around February, there's always going to be a team that be like, hey, I need at least a fourth option or a third option that can shoot, defend, and Marcus Morris fits that bill. There's going to be a team desperate. Like a team like the Sixers that have no type of spacing, no type of shooting, you're going to tell me they're not going to want to do something like that? if they have a real legit chance to go to the finals this year, of course they're going to do that.
For a player, I don't think so. I think there'll be other options out there that they can get.
Sim, but you got to think about this though. Who on that team can shoot? I'm just using this as an example. Who on that team can really shoot?
I get that. Richardson? I understand that. But listen to what I'm saying. I think they can find other options where they can get someone who's going to be on the books for past next year. You know, I think there'll be other options.
I mean,
because why
I'm
give
trying
up
to think, Sim, because like if you got to think about it though, Sim, the players like JJ Redick and those kind of guys, those guys are going on 1-year contracts now. They're doing it. They're doing it. They're going on 1-year rentals because they're shooters.
I understand that. I understand that.
So there's not a lot of shooters that's going to be on multi-year contracts.
But they're not going to give up a first-round pick for Marcus Morris, knowing that he's going to be a free agent. I don't think so. And then you're going to rent him for half the season, unless he agrees to say that I'm going to extend the contract or I'm definitely going to sign with you guys. I don't see a team giving up a first-round draft pick unless the Knicks are taking back some money that's going to extend past.
We got to see. I mean, I think the whole purpose that a lot of us saw in during the summertime, Sam, is when, you know, a lot of these players got signed was, hey, they're going to get traded December 15th or in February. So, I mean, we all do that, and I guarantee you Marcus Morris do that. He's not stupid. He's not oblivious to what, you know, was out there about how the Knicks position all this stuff.
There could be a trade, but I don't think you're getting a first-round pick for Marcus Morris straight up.
I don't know, Sam. I mean, listen, you got a lot of teams thinking, hey, like especially this year, Sam, where, okay, last year you can say, you know what, Golden State's going to win this championship. It doesn't really matter. But now you got a legitimate 5-6 teams that can actually win the NBA final, and Philly's one of them. I don't know, Sam. But, I mean, we'll see. But I don't know.
We'll see. I hope that we do. It'd be nice if we do. But first of all, you got to match the money. So you got to take somebody back, right? So So you got to take somebody back because you got to match the money in order to make the trade. So you're not just going to trade Marcus Morris and get a first-round draft pick and you're not matching the money any place. So you got to match the money somewhere.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I just want. I mean,
we'll see.
What's best for the Knicks?
I don't know. I'm not sure where we go from here, man. Kareem, I'm gonna come to you, Kareem.
Yo, what's up, son?
Where do we go from here, man? What's up, man? Where do we go from here? If the Knicks go 4-19, where do we go?
And honestly, I actually forgot the game was on. I missed the entire game. I forgot. I was doing some other stuff, talking to some people, and I forgot. But I don't know. I did not expect this season for us to be in this current position that we're in. I would say I wouldn't like panic and just totally jump ship on, you know. But let's be honest, Sim, right? When we look back at last season, right? We actually didn't, like, we had bad luck. We expected to get Kyrie and Durant, and that didn't happen. So then we went and got, you know, players, you know, went and got a stacked roster, you know, and gave players money that they wouldn't have got anywhere else. So, you know, that's we have to factor that in as well. So, you know, I honestly don't know, man. I don't know where we go from here. But of course, we have to make sure that we keep you know, keep on the path of developing our young players. You know, but I don't have an answer, man. I don't have an answer. I'll be honest. I don't have an answer.
Yeah, I don't have an answer. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be something. There's no, you know, I don't see anybody that you can bring in that's going to change the Knicks right now. You know, maybe you can start changing the culture, but then of course you got to have, you know, maybe you can bring in a player that helps to change the culture, but you got to have a coach that's supporting that. You know, it's going to be difficult, man. We're in a tough situation right now. Tough situation.
Yeah.
Bad situation.
Because you know, it's like I didn't expect us to perform so poorly.
Me either.
You know, I like this is like totally like, and you know, I'm basically I'm not upset. You know, honestly, and I guess it's because I'm used to this by now, and it could be a bad thing. But honestly, I'm just like flabbergasted, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel the same way, man. A lot of people are confused right now with everything that, we didn't expect the Knicks to be a championship contender, but we expect them to be more competitive than they are. And,
Yeah, you
it's
assume they put
disheartening.
together a better team, a team that's, that could perform, better than the team that we had as of last season. But like when you pointed out the points per game and offensive rating, I'm not surprised. Like it's like when you watch each game, it's really bad at times, Sam. It's really bad.
Yeah, it is, man. It's bad,
it's
man.
really bad.
It's rough to watch. It's rough to watch, man. Let me get to a couple phone calls, man. And I know, I see a lot of people in there saying, bring Mark Jackson in right now. I don't know if Mark Jackson is the answer anyway. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Let me get to a phone call. Caller, y'all live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's going on, Sim? How's everything? And happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, my man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I mean, beyond the Knicks, life is good, man.
And that's one thing I'm not thankful for is the Knicks, man.
Man. I'm thankful for the Knicks anyway because that's my squad. But
of course,
beyond the Knicks, man, life is good. So tell me, man.
Yeah.
We play Philadelphia on Friday, right?
Yeah. I think we're seeing, would you show that schedule? Indiana, what is it? Philly, Indiana, Milwaukee. Yeah, I see 4-19.
So we play Philadelphia on Friday.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? How are we gonna win that game? What's up? What are we gonna do?
I don't think we are. I mean, Philly's.
I know we
gotta
start doing something to turn this around,
so
man.
He's been a little hit or miss this year. They're kind of underachieving a little bit. I think, Simmons' numbers are way down and B's but, I mean, they'll figure it out, I mean, we almost beat them in Philly, until they made that crazy comeback. But I think we could hang with them. They're not, unbeatable this year, But I think we will probably lose that game.
I mean, I think we'll probably lose it, too,
Yeah.
We'll probably lose it,
Yeah.
Excuse me. What in your mind? What do we got to do to win, though? If we're gonna try to win, what do we got to do?
Well, Embiid always gets our big guys in trouble whenever we play him. He got Mitch in foul trouble, Gibson, and each of them in 2-3 minutes. So, I mean, I would probably just let him get his, and then don't let the other guys go off. Don't let the Richardsons and the Horfords go off, and Tobias, the other guys. That's how I would probably approach it.
Now, the last time we played Philadelphia, we held a 17-point lead.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe we were going to be able to win that game. We held a 17-point lead, right? We played 3 games. We played Philadelphia, San Antonio, and Brooklyn. Philadelphia was the one team that I didn't think we could get. I thought we could beat Brooklyn and San Antonio. Obviously, we didn't beat either one of those teams. All right, because we're now on a 4-game losing streak. All right.
Yeah.
But we had a 17-point lead. What did we do to build that 17-point lead against Philadelphia? And can we build another lead and keep it?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we just, we always blow the leads, and then, usually more times than not when we're down big, we make like you call it, the fake comebacks. So we just got to play hard. I mean, I don't know, man. I would just start Mitch. I mean, it's getting to a point where, I just want to start trading off the vets, and just as bad as Knox and these kids are playing, if we're going to lose, I'd rather lose with the young kids, I'm sure that's going to happen soon once the deadline comes, But, I don't want to lose games with Gibson and Morris, guys who won't be here in a year or two, You know what I'm saying? I mean, as bad as some of these young kids are playing, the Knoxes and the Triers, and I'd rather see them playing 35 minutes than Gibson and Marcus Morris. No offense to those guys,
Nah, I understand, man. I trust me. I understand where you're
Soon it's
coming
going to get
from.
to the point where people are going to bring up that T word, tank word, and they're already looking at prospects at Edwards and all
Well,
these
you already
kids that look
know.
good. And I
Yeah,
get
you
it,
already
but
know.
it's just so early to start rooting for them to lose and whatnot. And I
Yeah.
can't do that. At least not yet.
I feel you.
Oh,
Well, the Knicks played it. Hey, I'm gonna let you go, man. I appreciate the call.
All
Appreciate
right,
the
man.
call,
Have a
bro.
good one, man. Happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. So
All
the
right,
Knicks,
man.
ladies and gentlemen, are in the midst of the danger zone, which I like to call it, because of the teams that we play. We're in the danger zone. Again, you see, we play Philadelphia, Boston, Milwaukee, Denver, and Indiana up next. We already lost to the Toronto Raptors. We could be looking at 5 more losses in a row coming up. The last time we played Philadelphia, that's our next game. The last time that we played Philadelphia, ladies and gentlemen, it was a close game. The Knicks held a 17-point lead. You see it right there. We had a 17-point lead. The biggest lead for the 76ers was 7, but they held the lead when it counted. We played well for most of the game. We shot 47.6% from the field. We shot 52% from 3. We was 73.3% from the free throw line, although we only shot 15 free throws. Right? We had 42 rebounds. Basically tied them in a rebounding battle. We had only 17 assists, though. 8 steals, 6 blocks, only 14 turnovers. The 76ers had 44 rebounds. They had 30 assists on us. Fast break points, moving the ball. Right? They had 30 assists. That's a big difference in this game. Big difference in the game. They had 5 steals, 5 blocks, 10 turnovers. They shot 43.8% from the field, 40.6% from the three-point line, and 69.2% from the free throw line. All right, let's take out the box scores and see who did what. All right, for the Knicks, Marcus Morris, he came in and, he did his thing. He didn't do his thing tonight against Toronto, but he did his thing against Philadelphia a couple weeks ago. A couple days ago. He had 22 points and 13 rebounds, 6 assists. But he went ham at the end of the game. He went ham. Started wilding. It's just wilding a little bit. It's like, come on, man. I know, all your peoples was in attendance and all of that. It's all good. You're from Philly. We get it. You can't just go ham on the team, bro. That's what he did. Julius Randle had 17 points, 8 rebounds. Taj Gibson had 11 points, played well, but he only played 13 minutes. He was playing well, only played 13 minutes. I don't know. I don't understand it. RJ Barrett had an off night, 8.7 rebounds. Frank Ntilikina had 17 points, one of his best games as a Knick. One of the best games this season, at least. Mitchell Robinson only played 13 minutes. He was in foul trouble. He had 4 points, 2 rebounds. Bobby Portis had 7 points. Dennis Smith Jr. played well. He had 13 points. Kevin Knox didn't play much minutes. Damian Dotson played 19 minutes. He played some good defense. But obviously the Knicks just didn't have enough. Then you had guys like Tobias Harris. He had 14 points, shot 40% from 3. Al Horford, he had 7 points, but he shot 50% from 3. Joel Embiid, he had 23 points, 12 rebounds. Korkmaz, he had 2 points. He didn't do nothing. Ben Simmons had 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 13 assists. Mike Scott had 12 points. He was knocking it down from 3. He was 4 for 6 from the three-point line. I don't know what Isaiah's talking about when he says Philadelphia doesn't have three-point shooting. Because Tobias Harris can shoot. He hasn't been shooting that well this season, but he can shoot. Al Horford can shoot it from 3. He's not a big-time three-point shooter, but he can knock it down. Joel Embiid can knock it down. Mike Scott, he can definitely knock it down. Mike Scott is a killer from the three-point line. James Ennis, he made 66% of his three-point shots against us. He was 2 for 3. The Sixers shot 40.6% from the three-point line against us. I don't know. I don't know what we do, man. I don't know, are we going to get another 17-point lead? Probably not. Probably not. Probably not going down that way. So, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. But what I'm about to do, though, first of all, I'm going to ask you, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I go live, drop a video, and all of that good stuff. You know what it's all about. All right, so make sure you do that for me right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. And I did put a link to the Discord app in the chat. So if you are on Discord, and it's not set up and all that stuff, but I'll set it up and you know, build a little community over there on Discord. So if you're interested, here's the link once again. All right, go ahead and join that over there. Join me on Sportscaster too. If you're not on Sportscaster, I'm hopefully gonna do some special shows just on Sportscaster, you know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna head up out of here so I can start getting ready for my Thanksgiving. Stop thinking about the Knicks and get ready for Thanksgiving. I want to come around to the guys that's in the video chat. I want to find out from you, you know, if you think we can we beat Philadelphia? Can we stop this bleeding a little bit and beat Philadelphia? And then, you know, maybe not. Maybe take a little bit of positivity out of this danger zone. I don't know. Guillermo, we'll come to you, man. Guillermo, you think we can do anything against Philadelphia in this next game, man?
It's at home, right?
It's at home, yeah.
I mean, we might pull out a win, but you know, I just feel like the losses are probably going to start getting to this team. Lack of accountability. You know, like I said, I'm still looking. I still think that Randall and RJ are going to get into it because it's just two clashings of whatever of thinking of what they need to be on this team. Effort, guys not sitting down for effort. I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about this team in terms of where things are going to go outside of the losses, right? But can we beat the Sixers? Yeah, we could beat the Sixers. We held them fairly close last time, but you know, they have to again play really good defense, push the ball around, and know how to play those two guys, Embiid and Simmons. That's how the offense flows through those two guys. So can we win? Yeah, but you know, am I too confident? Nah, not really. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not.
It's getting to that depressing point where it's like you just watch the same thing over and over again, and you're just like, oh, okay,
right. And at this point, I have no confidence in the team, and if we don't have it sooner or later, the players aren't going to have confidence in themselves. You know what I'm saying?
And one real quick, I know you gotta go, but I just, in terms, you know, if I see Mitchell Robinson again jumping at Joel Embiid after Joel Embiid has missed how many 3-pointers, and he's jumping at him from the 3-point line. You know what I mean? Or you're not giving space to Simmons and force him to shoot and keep him out the paint and cut off his driving lanes once he tries to drive or cut or whatever. If we don't do things like that, I know this guy's not coaching. Because again, Taj Gibson, when he was in the game, had that defense humming in terms of playing Embiid the right way, playing Simmons the right way, right? If I see, you know, these guys still making the same fundamental mistakes, that just goes to show you that this coaching is just not working, or it's ineffective, or he's not coaching, period. So, yeah, man. Oh.
Yeah, man. I feel you, man. Hey, Guillermo, man. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too. I already know what you're going to be eating. First of all, everyone knows Sims is going to be eating ziti or lasagna. Like, that's like the only thing he eats. Because when
I'm not going to have
this dude was feeding for that at the pizza shop. Like,
we were going to have some lasagna tonight, but we did not have lasagna. Instead, we had Peruvian chicken.
Peruvian
chicken instead. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I am a big lasagna and ziti dude. I love lasagna and ziti.
I feel you, but we just say Peruvian chicken.
Peruvian chicken, yeah, man.
Is Sim trying to act? Sim is bourgeoisie now? What does this guy say? He said Peruvian chicken.
Peruvian chicken, man.
Yo, chat room, please help your man Sim out, yo.
Is rotisserie chicken with rice, and plantains and vegetables and mashed potatoes.
So why didn't Sim just say that to begin with? Why do you have to say Peruvian chicken? This dude really think he fancy
because that's
now.
what it's called.
Sim is connected. Isaiah's right. Bro. Sim got dough that we don't know about, son.
Bro,
this dude just talking about Peruvian chicken. Oh,
there's a spot called Chicken Rico.
Rice, chicken, plantains. That's all you had to say. He said Peruvian chicken just to make sure you know that it's coming from some country that's not in the U.S.
But
some
that's
exotic.
what it's called. What am I supposed to call it? It's a spot called Chicken
All right,
Rico.
whatever. Look, I
it's
hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, but we know you said Diddy.
Look,
We know
it's a
you
spot called
bourgeoisie
Chicken
now.
Rico.
You too good for us now, man.
It's a spot called Chicken Rico, and they make Peruvian chicken. That's Chicken Rico, Peruvian chicken. That's the name of it.
This guy, Sim, you're a funny
You come
guy,
down here, I'm gonna take you to Chicken Rico.
All right, cool.
And it's good too.
I'm gonna take you up on that offer, man. But don't talk to me about no Peruvian chicken again. All fancy and whatever. Salute to you,
Peruvian
Sim,
chicken,
man. Good show, man. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Congrats to your daughter that she's getting these college looks, man. Hopefully all goes well for her, man. But salute to you, man. I'll see you on the next stream, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Have a happy Thanksgiving, man.
You too, bro.
Enjoy yourself.
See you, man.
Good one. Peace. All right, let me see. Rob the Nick. Let me come to Rob. I didn't get a chance to talk to Rob all night, man.
Tim's
Hey,
got
Rob,
me now.
what's good with you,
Hey,
bro?
what's up?
I'm good, man.
Hey, everything good?
Everything is
doing
good,
great.
man.
College visits, the whole shebang.
Yeah, man. Yeah, college visit went well. She liked the school there. She still has a lot, you know what I'm saying, a lot to think about and what she wants to do, but they're going good. They're going good.
Okay, that's right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I like that. So, the question is, where do we go from here? We still with that?
Well, actually, we kind of moved on to Philadelphia. Can we win from Philadelphia and then signing off,
Oh, man, let me have to say, well, first of all, let me address that because I was waiting for that.
Okay.
That, where do we go from here? Mine's is quick. I got a quick fix.
All right.
Hey, look, do whatever we need to do to get rid of Randall. Whatever we need to do to get rid of Randall. Randall doesn't fit. His attitude, his persona, is like, as far as the team is concerned, it's like he makes them, there's no smiling with him, there's no hustle with him, and he doesn't respect the point guard play. No matter how good it is at times or how bad it is, he always wants to do his own thing. And you can see that on TV. On the June 15th, now, Morris, you can wait that out. Bobby Portis fits because his attitude and hustle, and it's not about no money. We need to do whatever we need to do to get rid of Randall. Bench him. Look, Sims, I thought I could set him up or just like Jedi mind trick him into getting into foul trouble so we can see how the team plays without him. He doesn't hustle enough to get in foul trouble. In all of these games that we're losing, he never had more than 3 fouls, maybe 4. Never fouled out of the game, got close to foul trouble at any given time. He remains on the floor, and nothing good happens when he's on the floor. The spacing is bad. He's one-dimensional. He goes one way. I think that Fizdale may have made a mistake telling him that he can handle the ball and tried that with him. You should have used him how the Pelicans use him. And the only way that worked, because it was strong guard play. He cannot get his own shot consistently. He will turn the ball over. His field percentage will drop. I was always leery of West Coast players coming east. East Coast stars can go west. West Coast players can't come east. Only the high echelon of them can. Like a Melo, he can come. But most of the time, if you remember back in the day when Elton Brand, best years was in the West. In Chicago and Philly, he was a bum. When he went to the Clippers, he was okay. He got the money. A lot of the West Coast players are like that. So with that being said, the best thing that we can do is go 4-19, and then try like hell to get rid of Randall.
So let me ask you this though. Let me ask you, right? Excuse me. Looking at what Randall is doing right now in his contract, how many teams do you think are really going to be lining up at the door for the Knicks to have a good deal to trade Randall?
I think that the Knicks can throw in a second-round pick with Randall. And I think somebody in the West will take a chance on him because that's what they say, oh, well, he's East. I think that you might get a West Coast and that it's early, that you can get a West Coast while it's still fresh what he did last year. It might be somebody that might go for it.
I mean,
You know, they say there's a
here's
sucker
my
born
thing, though.
every day.
But here's my
Somebody
thing.
might go for it.
But here's my
But
thing.
we have
Here's
to
my,
do our due diligence to try.
but this is my thing. This is my thing, right? Somebody would definitely be interested in taking Randall because I'm pretty sure there are teams around the league that are looking and saying the Knicks are not using this guy correctly. I'm positive. I am positive they're doing that. Right? Say they're not using him correctly. But they're not stupid. They're going to look and they're going to say, yeah, we know we can probably do so with this guy and we can get him back to scoring 20 a game maybe. But since right now he's only averaging this much and the Knicks are paying him $20 million a year, we're going to lowball him. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't think it would be easy to just move Randall that way without the Knicks,
Well, then, look,
the Knicks getting something
it's
favorable.
not on us. You right, but I look at it like this here. We're still holding all the cards because we can bench him still. Because I think it's not really his play that's really getting me. His play is getting me. But what's really getting me is the effect that he's having on the young players. That gets me more. So with that getting me more, I would want, because look, I say, look, in the next 10 games, if we go 4-19, the fans are going to turn on Randall. They're going to turn on him.
I mean, I think fans already have.
But hey, I said,
so
this
tell me, man.
organization our New York Knicks organization, they reactionary. They usually do what the fans do, even though, because they don't want that smoke. So, when they screamed for Frank, the next time Frank was in the game, when they said bench Dennis, they benched Dennis. When they made Fizdale play Frank, the fans did that by booing, and then, they don't want that smoke. So I'm thinking if we change that to Randall, he will be the next one on the bench.
All right. And
then try to
well, Rob, hey, do me a favor, man. So tell me, just tell me real quick, do we beat Philadelphia?
No, but we'll be in the dog fight with him.
Okay, all right.
Because Embiid gonna be trying to show out.
All right. Well, let me. I gotta get rocking, man. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, you do the same.
All right, my man. Let me get on and get you guys. Mark, tell me, man, real quick, man. Can we beat Philadelphia?
Well, after Joel Embiid had a 0-point game the other night, he came out and dropped 33 and 16. So that should tell you a lot about that type of player. So let's just say we're gonna be in a dogfight. But again, man, just like what Rob the Knicks said, it's not about Randall and what he could do. It's about the effect that he have on these young players, man.
We're not getting into all of that. We know how you feel about him, man. We trying to move past that right now.
So tomorrow we're gonna take that L, man. It's to a point, Sim. It's to a point, bro. Just bench him. Listen, I'll pay him $63 million off the bench.
I'm gonna tell you what. Look, I get it. I get it about Julius Randle. You know what I'm saying? But he's not the only player that's boo-boo on the team. Seriously. He's not the only player. So you can bench Julius Randle, and I guarantee you we're going to have the same record. Right? Like right now, it's kind of this, people want to say, oh, he's not a primary player. But because the Knicks paid him $20 million, listen, the Knicks paid me $20 million. I'm going to take $20 million too. And I guarantee you, I'm not a number one option. But if they're going to pay me that way, then I'm going to take the money. You know what I'm saying? People want to blame Randall because he got the money. The Knicks gave him the money. The general manager, Scott Perry, Steve Mills gave him the $20 million. You know what I mean? If he had the skills or if he didn't have the skills to step up, obviously that's on him. He has to learn how to do it. He has to do certain things out there on the floor, but he's not the only one that's not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's just his contract. It's just his contract that people are. If he was getting paid $5 million a year, you already know how it goes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking his side. and saying that he's a perfect player and I know he doesn't play defense well. You know what I'm saying? He's not understanding what to do on offense. You know what I'm saying? He's not handling the position that Fizdale tried to put him in. He's not handling that well at all. I get all of that. I understand it. I understand all of that. Part of it is Fizdale too. Putting him in bad situations. Trying to force him to be something that he's not. Fizdale takes some blame in it too. I'm saying, but it's other players on the Knicks that's not good. Certain people only want to focus on Randall. You can take Randall off of this team right now, and it's still not going to be good. Nate?
Yeah, man, I totally agree with you, man. I think that the only reason why people are using Randall as a scapegoat is because he does make a lot of money. I mean, but, if you take Randall off this team, man, we might even be worse. I'm
going to tell you what.
To say that.
I will write scapegoat across my chest. Give me $20 million. I'll write scapegoat across my chest. I'll write it across my back. I'll get my whole body tattooed that says scapegoat. Pay me $20 million to do it then. Shoot.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to be the scapegoat.
So
he's not the only scapegoat, man.
As far as Philly,
he's not the only one.
It's probably going to be close. I think we'll probably still lose the game just because we'll have breakdowns on. But I think it'll be close. Real quick, Sim, when you said earlier, like, what do we do going forward if we're 4-19? I'll tell you right now what we need going forward 4-19. We need, as soon as the memorandum comes up, the moratorium comes up for the players to be traded, we need to go engage talks with Golden State for D'Angelo Russell. We need to think.
I might agree with that. Agree with that.
Because here's the deal. We have all the assets in the world to get D'Angelo Russell if we wanted to. Golden State's not going anywhere this year. They're more likely going to get the number 1 pick, and it very well could be Cole Anthony. How crazy would that be if they paired him with Steph Curry? If he's number 1, I don't know. Could be a center, I don't know. But anyways, we need to go get D'Angelo Russell because here's the deal. We need a point guard of the future. We have to figure that out first. If we can get the point guard, then we can build the team around the point guard. And I think if we can get D'Angelo Russell, even if we have to trade Knox or trade a first-round draft pick, Dallas' first-round draft pick, we got to go do it, man. I mean, this is the best time to go get him because what does Golden State really have as far as leverage? They suck. They're terrible. And if they could take a player that they could put on their team, or if they could take one of our young assets, hey, I think they'd be willing to do that because they know that Klay Thompson's going to be back.
Yeah.
So Russell's just going to be excess baggage for them. So we need to go get a point guard. I mean, I do not believe in Cole Anthony. I think he's a very small guard. He's 6'1" in college, but I think he's probably more 6 foot now, or measured at 6 foot or something like that. We need a big guard. And D'Angelo Russell's 6'5". He's a 20. He could be a 20-10 guy, if his head's right. And we got to get somebody to help out with Randall, man. We got to get a point guard because we don't know how good Randall could be when we put a good point guard with him. We've seen it. I mean, we've seen it with Holiday, but I think Russell has potential to be better than Holiday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is this, though. The thing is this. If this team is going nowhere, do you give all this money to D'Angelo Russell with the team going nowhere? Not that it's all this money, but
we got to prepare for the future, man. Because truthfully, outside of Cole Anthony, who the hell are we going to go get in the offseason?
Okay, all right. I'm just asking the question. Do we trade away assets and because they're going to want young players
Russell
too
on the team and paired him with Julius Randle and RJ Barrett? I would.
Okay, all right. I mean, and it might work. It might work. I'm just saying. Do we? Do we spend that money knowing that this team isn't going anywhere? That's just a question.
We got to look for the future, man. If we can get a point guard, I'm not saying on the cheap, but if we can get a point guard in a trade and not give up the farm for him, I'd rather do that than wait for free agency or wait for sign a player that probably is not the level of D'Angelo Russell or hope and pray that we draft a player that's going to be D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell's already a proven player. He's in his prime. put him with R.J. Barrett and Knox, or R.J. Barrett and Mitchell and Randall and all that, hey man, I could roll with that team. And then we get a new coach. Hey man, we're starting fresh and got the point guard of the future. You got your leader and you go, man. Right now we don't got a leader, and I think that Russell could step into that leadership role even at 25 years old or whatever. And I think he could do it, man. I really do, and I think Randall would benefit from him, and RJ would benefit from him. So I'm not saying he's going to be a savior of the Knicks, but I mean, we got to go somewhere, man. I mean, we've had this point guard issue for a long time, and there's a chance to get a guy, a prime guy, and his prime, hopefully not give a lot for him, but
Okay.
hey, we got to do something.
Well,
man.
I mean, I'll say this. D'Angelo Russell right now averaging 24.3 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, and 6.7 assists per game. He's shooting 45.5% from the field, 35.4% from three.
On a crappy team. He's doing it on a crappy team right now.
Crappy team, yeah. Hey, Nate, happy Thanksgiving to you, man. I'm going to let you rock.
Hey, brother.
All right, enjoy yourself. Have a good one. And somebody tell Kareem happy Thanksgiving too. I see you sleeping. I'm going to get one last phone call, then I'm out. All right. Caller, y'all live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Yes, Sim.
Hey, what's going on with you, brother?
What's up, man? This is Bandada. Long time no talk to you, man.
Yeah, long time, man. Glad to hear you.
Bandada from Jamaica, man. What's going on? How's everything, buddy?
Good, man. Good. I mean, besides the Knicks, life is beautiful, man.
I'm a brother. I've been watching Knicks with you, and I tell you something, man. Usually, I'm a man like this. It's all common sense to me, that basically we can't just panic right now. I'm the last person to panic, but it's getting close to that time, Sim. And I'll tell you the problem, Sim. Problem is this. The guys have checked out. I saw their body language.
Yeah.
Okay? I checked it out, and I looked at what's going on with them. I mean, we have good players. The players are good, and we're talking about changing a coach. That's what they've been doing every time, every other year. Change the coach, change the coach. Now, we invest in a good coach. I believe he's a good coach. Unfortunately, the player he has right now, they think that he's not doing something right. And what is he not doing right? Basically, last year they were told, the youth, they were told, we're going to be building with the youth. We're going to be building with the youth. This is how we're going to build our team. But what happened? Mills, what he did was to put in some players, or he got some players on the team right now that basically has experience. Now the youth is now saying, what's up with us? You're now leaving us out. And that's the part that's happening with the young guys, because right now I can see on their faces, it's like they're saying, you betrayed us. This wasn't the plan. This wasn't the plan. Now you all these new players right now with experience, it's going to take them a lot of time to really come together as a group, mixing the young and the old. But the whole thing is this. I've always told my son, if you get in trouble, the amount of time that you got in trouble, it's going to take you the same amount of time to get out of it. We have been thinking for a very long time. And it's not going to happen tomorrow. We're not going to turn this thing around immediately. It's going to take time. But the way we turned it around, the plan was we're going to grow with the youth. We're going to draft, and we're going to have young people on the team to grow with the team. Randall is not a bad kid. Randall's 24 years old, I think. 24 years old or 23 years old. He's a young guy. The guy has a lot of possibilities. He can grow with this team. And we're not blaming Randall. No. Randall was good before he came on this team. It's the way he's being used. It's the way he's being used. You have to coach Randall, and you have to sit him down if he does something bad. You got to sit him down and say, hey, man, this is not the way. Until you change and do it my way, then you're going to sit down. Popovich, I think you mentioned, was a good example. Popovich right now, Randall would play a lot better, utilize a lot better. But my whole thing is this: the mental ability, the mentality of this team is taking a shot. It has taken a shot. And they're now saying we're just losing every time. What's the sense of playing hard now? What's the sense of playing hard? They have really panicked. The whole team has panicked. And now this is why we have this right now. They don't know about the coach. If he will be there in the next 2 weeks, they're wondering about him. Will he be there? The youth, they're wondering, okay, are you going to be playing us, or will we sit on the bench most of the time? Now we are now regressing. The problem right now is R.J. Barrett, because he's a good player, and we may lose him in the future. If we don't change this very soon, the young players are going to check out. And once they check out, we're going to start all over again. If you ask me, Tim, most of these players that we have right now, these so-called experienced players, they're good players, but let them go. Get back with the youth. We need to get back with the youth, because if we don't do it, it's going to be a problem. We will not grow and we will stay stagnant for a very long time. That's what I'm thinking, Sim. Everybody has a solution of what's going on. The solution is right in front of our face, and we're not realizing what's going on. Stop blaming the coach. Yes, he might not be the perfect coach that we want, but you know what? We invested in this man. What are we going to do? Pay him plus pay 2 other coaches that we have on the payroll? Keep on changing coaches? Mills, he's got to do something. Perry, they've got to put a stop to this and let them know, hey, you got to start playing these guys. You got to start playing the young kids. Play the young kids more. Invest in the young kids. The other guys, you only have 2 years, 1 year with a 1-year option. They might go very, very soon. We can kick them out. We can trade them, whatever. We need to get back with the young guys. And if we don't do it, trust me, Sim, if we don't invest in these young guys, we're going to regret it. We're going to regret it.
We're in a jam, man. The Knicks are in a jam right now. We got to figure out something because, if you continue like this for another 5-6 more years, people are worried about the fan base being lost to the Nets and all kinds of junk. You got to do something because people are tired of losing. People are tired of losing.
People are tired of losing. And I'll tell you something, Sim. Right now, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a die-hard Knicks fan. I love my Knicks. But today, as a matter of fact, Philadelphia, I found myself not caring anymore. I was numb. And when you get numb as a fan, that's dangerous.
Yep.
Because what that means is that you have checked out mentally yourself. You have no faith. And a man with no faith, a man with no hope, that's a lost man. We are lost fans right now. A lot of us are thinking, we are cursed. Maybe the team is cursed. Why did I ever root for the Knicks? But like diehard fans, we still stick with the team. I just hope that management see how loyal we are as fans and take it seriously. And you know what? I think they're trying. I think they're trying their best. But they have panicked in a way because they don't know what to do. They don't know where the problem is. The problem, though, is that they start with one plan and then they change midstream into another plan because the plan that they originally started with is not working. So now they panic and try to change the whole scheme right now, which right now in midstream is not going to work. If you're going to start with the young kids, continue with the young kids. Azikas, Trier, Knox. Knox has regressed so much. The man was playing better last year. He was playing better last year. If you look at him right now, there's no faith. He has no faith in his shot. No faith in his shot. And when he sits down, His whole body language, you can tell a man by his body language. When he starts walking, he walks like he's frustrated. Trier, right now, at first, usually if he didn't get to play, he looks a little bit frustrated. But now, he looks as though, oh, it's another night. I'm just going to sit it out, okay? If you don't watch RJ is a damn good player. But this is going to be it's going to pollute his mind. This loss, this losing is going to pollute his mind. And if you don't watch it with that kid, he's going to check out also. Okay? So this is what we got to guard from. We got to guard from our young kids losing it. The older ones, they can go. But we got to get back to our young kids. Groom them. Train them up. And you know what? It's going to come with losing. But I prefer with 5 guys out there trying hard than 15 out there just collecting a paycheck. I prefer these guys working hard. And you got to get the ones who are hustling. Get the hustlers. Get the hustlers. If we have to even go back to the G League and pluck some of these guys from the G League and put them in, okay, let's do it. Let's get these guys out. Because these guys with experience, obviously, they're saying to themselves, they're listening to all the media saying the Knicks are no good, the Knicks are no good. And they're saying now to themselves, why did I come on this team? But you know what? You came on this team because we offered you all this money. That's why you came on this team. No other reason. Just because we offered you the money, that's why you're here. And that is why they will stay for now. But you know what? Get them off this team because they're polluting these young kids. Let the young kids play. Give them the experience. Let them work for it. If you have to go back into the G League, plug them into the G League. Put them up there. I prefer losing with the guys who want to struggle and who want to work hard every night than all these dumbs, okay, who just want a paycheck.
Hey. Speaking a lot of facts to me, man. You're speaking a lot of facts and you're making a whole lot of sense, man. Hey, I appreciate you for calling in. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, man. Have a happy Thanksgiving, Sim. And
have a happy Thanksgiving.
And my call, man. I appreciate it, all right?
I appreciate
Have a good
you,
one,
bro.
you and your family, okay? Hey,
you too,
and no
man.
matter what, Sim, I'll always be a diehard Knick.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
Lose or
All
win.
of us will.
I don't know nothing else. Just like I know my Lord Jesus Christ, I can't go worship anyone else because I am who I am right now. And I am a Knicks fan, and I'll always be a Knicks fan. But you know what? Hey, it's okay. Whatever happens, win or lose, I will always be a Knicks fan. Thanks very much, Sim. I appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate you, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Always be a Knicks fan. I like that call. I love that call right there, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to end it on that point. No better way to end it than on that call right there, ladies and gentlemen. Have yourselves a happy Thanksgiving. But before I end it, big shout out to my man, Travis Fisher. He said, happy Thanksgiving, Sim. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Travis. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for the super chat. Hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy yourselves tomorrow. I will see you Friday morning and Friday evening. Friday morning, I'm going to do a game preview of the Knicks and the Sixers, and then I'll be on live after the game, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Peace.
That's the deal.